What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Juice is Loose, number 54. And as always, this podcast is first and foremost about having fun. So that's what we're going to try to do. And to help me do that, I have a good amount of guests here. We're going to start with Mr. Leveled Head. What's going on?
What's up, people? It's your boys. Levelhead back with another Terminator Juice is Loose podcast. Happy to be here once again. All right, let's go. All right.
Next up, Ms. T.
Hey there, folks. It's Mr. T. How you doing?
And next up, Insane Game Freak, Terrell.
Surprise, motherfuckers. Actually, it's probably not a surprise because I've been on here way too consistently lately. Oh, well, fuck it. We're here to talk video games. Let's do it.
All right, and then our last guest is first-timer to the Juice is Loose, but always participates with asking questions on my podcast and on Red Knight's Active Gamer Life podcast. First time on the Juice is Loose, want to welcome We and 360 with me. What's up, man?
Thank you for having me, man. It's awesome. I love games, and I'm ready to talk about some games.
All right, so what can I call you for short?
All right.
Because that's too long. I can't say We and 360 with me every time.
That's fine. You could even call me Robert. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Robert, before we get any further, why don't you go ahead and just give a quick history, since it's first time on the Juice is Loose, starting with your age and your history with video gaming, what console you got started on, and a brief history of what type of games you like and stuff.
All right, so I'm super young. I'm 16. I'm a young gamer, but I am a huge gamer. I have all three consoles currently, and I actually started with the Wii, to tell you the truth. But I actually was growing up during the GameCube and PS2 era, but I didn't actually start there. I actually played a little of the Sega Genesis that my uncle had, but I mostly just played the Wii, and the game that got me into gaming was Super Mario Galaxy, which is still my favorite game of all time. And right now I have a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo. I'm just a humongous gamer right now.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, you're not like most
I got tears in my eyes. You say the Wii. Oh, man, that's great. That's
great.
But
at least it started with one of the greatest games of all time, Super Mario Galaxy. Did you think the second one was better than the first? Because I do.
I guess technically, yeah, but both of them are my favorite games of all time. It's like I don't know.
You can't pick one?
No, I can't really pick one. But I guess in all reality, I guess the second one, yeah.
They did refine the formula.
Yeah.
So your first console experience was the Wii, which is incredible to think of.
That's incredible.
But the funny thing is my original Xbox gamer tag had Wii and 360 in the title. Not Wii and, but the word Wii and 360.
Oh, yeah?
It was my initials and Wii 60. Instead of 360, I replaced the 3 with Wii. Very clever, I thought. But people didn't seem to like it, so I changed it to Terminator Juice.
Didn't you hear me just now? I said we can call him Wii 60 for short. And that's that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, yeah, I have the proof because my Uplay name got screwed up because they got hacked or something, and it resorted to my old Xbox gamer tag. It's all messed up, but it was about something Wii 60. So cool. Anyway, let's move on here. Last was it Thursday or Wednesday? We got a nice update for Splatoon. Nintendo was nice enough to deliver on their promise, and it hit early in the month instead of the end of the month like a lot of the stuff they do. So I just want to get everybody's impressions of the update, things they like, if there's anything they thought they didn't add that they should have or could have. So let's start with Robert.
All right. Well, I'm a huge Splatoon fan right now. I have over 200 hours put into it, and basically, I think that this update is just awesome, and I'm probably going to play over 300 hours now with the leveling up. I'm a level 27, and it's just awesome. And I love the new gear, first of all. I love how, isn't it that the Squid Girl and all that stuff, that's from, where's that from again?
It's from an anime that the first season got released in America, but the second season didn't. But yeah.
Okay. See, that's cool how they bring different stuff as gear. I love that. And the gear is awesome. everything about it's just freaking awesome. And like I said, it takes longer to level up, but I'm fine with it. But I do think they need to add a thing where you could choose individual ranked battle modes, because I don't wanna. I wanna choose whether I want to play Splat Zone or Tower Control. I don't want to play once. What is it, like once a day, once every 4? I don't even
4
This
know.
hours.
one's every 4 hours.
But it seems like it doesn't even change
And it
sometimes.
doesn't change every time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Random.
It doesn't even change sometimes. So that I think they really need to add quickly. Honestly.
And did you try any of the squad battle mode or anything yet?
No, not really. I did just check the lobby to see what it looks like, but that was really it. I just went straight to ranked.
Yeah. Me and Terrell, we jumped on that squad, and I can tell you right now, even though we were talking with Google, all 4 of us, that don't mean you're gonna win. We were getting our our asses handed to us
What was
by.
that like? The first hour was like a struggle.
We got beat by a team of 3 2 times in a row, and we had 4 people.
Oh
in-
my god.
So you saying voice chat didn't help you?
It didn't help. It did not help. We thought we were gonna wreck people. We had strategies. Steel Fox was laying down beacons so we could spawn to them. It didn't matter. We were getting wrecked, and it wasn't even funny. But I mean, we were laughing, but it was kind of sad too. So, Terrell, why don't you go ahead and give your thoughts overall of the update?
Okay. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't super excited about the squad and private battles because I'm more of a solitary gamer. Like, to me, it's like I never really. That's one of the reasons why I had no problem buying the game at launch, because I didn't really care about, oh, you couldn't make friend lobbies, because I didn't think I would use it that often. I mean, honestly, ever since I was on there with you, Juice, I haven't really used the squad or the private battle lobbies. But I do like that they're in the game. I have my Squid Girl outfit. I'm all decked out. Now I just need to level her up. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that for 2 different reasons. Just anime representation of video games and other stuff. The other new gear is cool. The new music, that is probably one of my favorite things about this. I love the new tracks. The level cap is cool. I'm glad they didn't do it where it was like, oh, the grind to get to 20. I'm glad the grind to get to 21 wasn't like more than that. I'm glad they just kind of reset it as if you were starting from level 1 again, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you didn't feel like you were struggling right off the new bat. The weapon, the slosher, I probably would say I'm more partial to the slosher than the splatling gun or the heavy splatling, but I like both of the weapons, but the slosher is probably my favorite of the 2. And it's just been a cool time. And then on top of that, we had Splatfest, so it's just like a clusterfuck of awesomeness.
And plus, 2 leaks, one showing 2 new maps and another one showing a bunch of new weapons. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah,
The bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a bridge and then there's another level.
It's not really a leak though, because in that
it's in the code or whatever.
Well, no, I mean that because the trailer they showing off the was showing off the bucket actually shows off that map. It shows off.
Yeah.
So we've seen the map already. So, but yeah,
And, they
cool.
did say that that stuff would be free as well. So overall, good update.
They need to start charging for something. I'm starting to feel bad. It's like I think we've gotten past the point where it's like these games are supposed to be in the game. I think we're getting into it's like, all right, Nintendo, you can start charging for it. I mean, I don't mind personally. I'm just saying.
I'll keep taking it for free.
I mean, I will too.
Max, it's just some Mario Sunshine goodness.
Yeah, if they're gonna charge, it needs to be more than just a map that's gonna come up, once a week in a 4-hour rotation. They need to come up with something really, really enticing for me personally. So Meza T, I know you had a wedding anniversary this weekend. So I don't know if you got to play much.
I did. I played some on Sunday. I didn't get a chance to do the squad-based stuff, and I'm kind of like Terrell. Like, I know I can just hop on and just do some random, even if I do get annoyed with some of my teammates. But the thing is, like, it's hard to even us. It's hard to okay, let's get 4 guys together at a specific time and let's go do this squad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy sometimes because you don't always feel like you just said, you don't always feel like playing. Sometimes you just want to kind of veg, and and so when you want to veg, I want to play, or vice versa. So, it's fun to just hop on and just like get a bunch of matches in. But I love all the weapons. I've been sloshing it myself, and
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
love the
think I'd like
slosher.
it, but I do like it a lot. So,
Yeah, if you haven't
um,
tried the slosher, you're listening to this. I don't like rollers. I don't like the splat chargers, but I love the slosher. That thing's very effective.
I like getting people that are like trying to camp on another side of a little trying to hide behind cover and whatnot.
hmm
You can dump over the cover right on their heads.
It's good on
That's great.
the
Yeah.
skyscraper level.
Oh,
I forget what it's
yeah,
called.
it's great on that. Yeah.
When you have the higher ground, it's really good.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying the weapons and stuff, and it, I don't know if I'll ever be able to play everything. And the one thing I don't like is, like you were just talking about, is a lot of stuff is just kind of limited to rotation, and I wish they would get rid of that. I think we have enough content now to where it'd be nice to just be able to play it the way I want to.
Yeah, and there's enough people bought the game that they can
Right.
divide up the game modes and not have to worry about not being enough people in each
Yeah.
hobby.
Because you're asking people to be playing the game a certain time if they want to play certain maps, and that is not cool.
Especially if the two maps that come up are not your favorite, then it's just
Right.
like,
You're
turn
stuck
the
with
game.
that because that's the time you get out of work or whatever. So
Mhm.
it kind of sucks.
All right, last but not least, leveled head. And I want to. You didn't talk about the music. I don't know if you noticed the new tracks.
I did notice the new tracks.
The greatness.
Yeah,
But
if you have the
track 30.
amiibos, I was gonna say if you have the amiibos and you unlock the Squid Beats minigame, you can just pick the tracks and listen to them to your heart's
Oh,
content.
snap.
So
Really?
that's
know
what
that.
I've been doing. Track
I really
29.
want to.
Track 29 is the truth, man. That's good stuff. But anyway, leveled. What do you think of this update? Are you like the rest of us, where you're a solo kind of guy?
Well, I mean, for the most part, I'm like you guys. I haven't got a chance to really dive into all the added features. Pretty much just been playing the turf war stuff. Don't know. I don't have enough. I don't have enough friends. I have a lot of friends, but not the ones that I actually play with, know who I'm playing with. So when I jump on, when I go through the friends list or go through who's on, most of the time it's Red Knight. I see on there a few times, but outside of that, I don't see nobody else. So I just be going into the turf war. So, but as far as the music, I definitely love the music. I posted that on Twitter the other day. It's addictive how all the different news tunes they got rolling through it. I think the Splatomatic, is that what they call that thing?
The Splatling.
The bucket.
yeah.
Is that the bucket?
Oh, the Slosher.
Slosher.
The slasher is OP. God, that weapon is so overpowered to me, but I like it. But I haven't mastered using it. So, but if a person does have a master, you ain't too much doing nothing with them. You just got to get away from them. So, but for the most part, I mean, Nintendo doing a real good thing with how they implementing. Even though it was on the disc, I didn't know that, but how they've been rolling it out, and then this update, it's been a good ride for me. I don't feel like I've gained. I mean, I know we gained a lot, but it don't feel no different than what I purchased when I first bought it. It feel the same to me. But that's because I really haven't went into utilizing all the different added features. I don't do a lot of the ranked battles. I need to get into that. It seemed like that's where you get powered up quicker, so might need to try that out. But pretty much been doing the same thing I've been doing. Jumping in when I can and jumping out. So
Yeah, I think I told somebody like 2 months ago they can't wait till August till the real game hits, and I'm like, dude, like you do realize like squad battles are only gonna be beneficial if you have 3 other people during the same time that can play on your friends list. Like, how often is that gonna happen? Well, Nintendo gave us the option to do a squad of 2 or a squad of 3. So you don't have to have 4 total, but you still got to rely on other people's schedules, and it's like the core game hasn't really changed.
Well, that and they also got to be at level 10 too.
Yeah, that's true because it's only ranked battles, but most people are now unless they just bought the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For the ones who are buying the game because they're like, oh, the real game is here now.
But the private battles, up to 8 players. That could be really cool if you got a Google Hangout going. I could see that. To me, that has more potential. The squad battle, I thought it was going to create your squad name and people could, represent, but no, it's just a one-time. You create that lobby, people join, you fight, and then you get out, and then you get in a different lobby of friends. It's not like you can create a name like we kind of hoped. But overall, I mean, the new music's great. Does anybody know the size of that update? Did anyone actually see it download, or did it?
Like,
I
538
see.
megabytes.
Like 538, yeah, megabytes.
Okay, so that's a pretty good chunk considering the game was like 2 gigs to start.
Yeah, that's a fourth of the game.
And that, I mean, that 2 gigs included all the maps that have been released and all the guns that have been releasing. So let me just pose this question before we move on. Now that the August update's out, there's, 10 or 11 maps. There's like 50 weapons. There's all kinds of gear. If people are still pointing out that the game wasn't complete, is it time to not bring that up now that the game's pretty much complete? Isn't it stupid, or do you guys agree or disagree that it's stupid that people still bring up how the game launched incomplete? Isn't that to me that's redundant at this point? It's the past, and it's not a valid argument anymore as far as far as I'm concerned.
But it's Nintendo. It's a Nintendo game, man. You gotta keep crying about it.
I know. We're gonna pour salt on everything.
And I'm like,
We're gonna drive this motherfucker up.
Dude, I'm at rank 17 still, so I can't. It's like, this game has always been enough for me. So.
Well, with the game just now getting the update, it's about a few days removed from the update.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear a lot of complaining, probably for another week or two, and then it'll die out, and then people have to shut up about it. But yes, it's pretty much something that needs to be moved on from. And you go buy it, you're gonna buy it. If you're not, you're not. Let it be.
It's just like when the Wii U launched and there was that hour update you had to do. I remember people, that first couple days, people were like, oh, all the Sony Xbox fans were like, oh my god, you gotta wait an hour to play your system, you gotta wait 2 hours. 3-4 years from now, no one's gonna care about that 1 hour it took to download the day one update for your
I
Wii
am.
U.
But Terminator.
Well, not the day one update. I'm talking about just every game. I just got Rare Replay, and it took 48 minutes and 38 seconds. I timed it.
Really? I'm
It's
talking about Wii U owners.
But this is the same people who cried about the sparse droughts on the Wii U, but looking at what we getting on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, we just gotta wait for greatness,
I asked him, I was like, do you guys realize that the first retail exclusive for the Xbox One is a collection of old games?
Yep.
That launched.
It's August.
last
and
week.
That's the first. It's August. But all this whining about what the Wii U ain't got. And I'm like, wait a minute. How you gonna just let that go? How you gonna let that slide?
Yeah, we've been giving them.
We ain't supposed to talk about that, man.
Let's-
That's a secret.
Since we went down this road, let me just bring up one more thing.
Oh.
The greatest lineup in Xbox history is this 2015 lineup of 4 games.
God.
Forza, Halo, Tomb Raider, and they even throw that stupid Fable Legends, and I don't know, that game couldn't
And
be.
that's not even exclusive. It's on PC.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
They've been touting this year as the best year of Xbox lineup of games. Maybe they just meant exclusives for the holidays. I don't know, but
Well, I guess that says a lot about the Xbox brand. in my
that's some
book.
good. I mean, there's good games.
I was gonna say that doesn't fit too well.
And it's like, I don't know. I just think that's a little. I don't think that this would be the year to say that. I mean, yeah, you got Halo 5, and you have Tomb Raider, strong. It's 2 really strong games, but I don't know. The Gears remake, I guess.
They're trying to get their swagger back. Let them,
But I do like.
Well,
Phil
look,
Spencer.
at least they're doing better than
They're doing something,
That's what I'm saying. They know how long they've been dying for thirst, and finally
Right.
got some games coming, so they trying to put that out there. Sony's still talking about remakes, man. So
I can't hate on them for that.
You know what? I got to bring this up. I muted the post because it was so stupid. Somebody who's a Nintendo Wii U owner, he races in my Mario Kart 8 tournament. He shared a photo somebody, a Sony fan, was saying, Nintendo fans are saying PlayStation owners are just playing the same games right now as they were last generation. And then he took a picture of Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii Fit, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. And then he took another picture of the Wii U version of Wii Sports Resort, and Wii U version of Wii Fit, or Wii Fit U, Wii Play U, and then he put Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and they're saying, well, Nintendo does the same thing, and I'm just like only one of those games is in the sequel,
Right.
like
That's the game I wanted to play.
the
Well,
PlayStation 4 is literally the same games, not just follow-ups or sequels.
Look, if you're going to do that, take a picture of Halo 5, take a picture of Forza 6, take a picture of Tomb Raider, because all of them are sequels to games we already played. So
Yeah, and if we're-
I don't think anybody's talking about sequel. We're talking
No,
about
they're-
straight up the same damn game.
I'm
That's right.
I'm just talking about.
No, I wasn't.
The guy took pictures and basically saying that even though it's a new iteration into that series or that franchise, it's pretty much the same game. Well, you could do that with both Sony and Microsoft.
Oh yeah, if you did that for the PlayStation 4, there's only like 4 games that don't fit that category. Like almost the whole lineup is a sequel or a continuation of a series or a remake. So it's like, I mean, that was just and the guy who reshared it was just like, he's a Wii U owner. I'm like, how? Like Tropical Freeze is not Donkey Kong Country Returns in HD. You realize like it's a sequel, and it's
But
just
you can't tell. But man, it still got Donkey Kong in it. That means it's the same game, right?
I mean, that's just
It's the same game, man.
the point of bringing that up is just to go to the lengths people will go to try to, when their system doesn't, is in the wrong. Let's say in the wrong. It's not the right word, but when they don't have any exclusive games or really anything coming this year other than third parties, and they're hearing that, then that's their way of trying to justify or. They do have a slight point in that, a lot of the Wii U games were series of franchises that were on the Wii, but they're also on the GameCube, Super NES, and the regular NES. So it's like,
Yeah, but those guys can't say anything. How many Assassin's Creed did they play last gen? How many Call of Duties did they play last gen?
that's just, that's just how bad it gets.
Come on. And then even the games that are different games end up being the same game with a different name.
Especially, there's one thing to say, like the 3D Marios and 2D Marios are the same, which I think's ridiculous, but people say it. But Assassin's Creed 4 to Assassin's Creed, or 2 really, felt like the same game. 3 felt like the same game. So, I mean, anyway, I don't want to get into that, but
yeah,
I just thought it was silly, the lengths people will go to try to. And, I mean, Nintendo fans have done that too.
of course.
So everyone's guilty, but I just thought that was kind of ridiculous. But so let's get on to Gamescom, where we don't have a whole lot of Nintendo news to talk about. So I just want to get everyone's quick grade on the Microsoft. What did they call it? It wasn't a press conference. They called it briefing, I think.
Yeah.
Assuming everybody saw it, I saw most of it. I thought it was a little long. So I just ended up watching just the individual game highlights after the fact. I saw the first hour, and my app on my YouTube app froze on me on my TV, so I just said screw it and just watched the individuals. But it was decent. They had quite a few games. Their presenters were decent. I like Phil Spencer a lot. So I'd actually grade their Gamescom showing higher than their E3 for me personally. I gave it like a C+, B- kind of grade from what I saw. So I just want to go down the line, get everyone's quick and letter grade, and then we'll kind of dive into the individual. We'll start with you, Robert. If hopefully you saw most of it, if not all of it.
Yeah, I would give it probably like a B- also. I mean, like I said, it was decent. It was pretty good. Give it a B-.
All right. Terrell, did you catch any of Gamescom?
I didn't catch the footage. I didn't catch the actual conference, but I did go back and watch all the trailers and highlights for the games.
Well,
Based on that, I could give it like a C, I guess.
All right. Ms. T and Leveled, you guys already graded it on the Live and Leveled podcast.
My grade though.
I gave it a C. Yeah, I'm gonna change mine too.
Okay.
I gave it a C initially on a Levels podcast, but I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Yeah.
Because I didn't let the Crackdown stuff sink in, and that was pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive. I was expecting actually to give it a solid A, but the one game I was expecting to impress me didn't really impress me, and that was Scalebound. So, yeah, B minus for me.
Yeah, I thought it drug a little bit with the there was some really boring parts in there. The backwards compatibility, still trying to hype that up.
They are doing some pretty decent stuff with that.
It's cool, but I don't know why are they throwing the free word out there? Is it like
that kind of annoyed me.
I don't understand. It should be free if you have the game and it's backwards compatible. Why would it not be free? So, go ahead, Level. You said you changed yours.
Yeah, because I didn't watch the press conference. I just watched like Terrell. I was at work and I missed it. So I was like, I can watch this on the Xbox. So I turned it on, found it, and watched it. I gave it initially like a B plus, B. I'm gonna drop it down to like a B minus, C plus. It was real dry at points, and like some of the, and I didn't like how they was showing, like to me, and we was talking about this before the podcast started. Terminated, like unlike E3. Where they do a demonstration, it felt like a demonstration. On this, it just felt like they were just showing a quick trailer and okay, let's go to the next game, and oh, that was cool, and it just felt kind of jarred and kind of detached from one moment to the next. But I didn't care for that part, how they was showing the footage or the trailers for the games. It just felt like a rush job. They rushed through Quantum Break. All of it just felt like a rush. So
Quantum Break specifically, I've liked the stuff I saw earlier than what they've been showing lately. Like so,
I like
felt like they didn't. I don't know. It just felt like they really wasn't trying to really push it into the hearts and the minds of the folks who was watching. But then when you go to the YouTube channel and you seeing footage like the Tomb Raider footage they just showed today, like man, why you didn't show that? Like
that was amazing.
Terminator shared that with me. I was like, whoa.
Whoa, I had to
What was this?
I had to pause for a second. Like, did I just see what I saw when I saw what I seen when I seen what I saw?
Yeah, it's like,
I was like,
why didn't they show that at E3? Why didn't they show that at the Gamescom press conference? Why show that after the fact? You know.
Right.
And
I was totally down on Tomb Raider from E3, and I would say after watching Uncharted 4, I don't want to get off point, but what they showed at E3 of Tomb Raider didn't sell me. It's like, wow, that kind of killed my buzz for it. I was going to get it, but I wasn't as excited. And then Uncharted 4 is like, oh, y'all really messed up. Then they showed what they showed at the actual briefing was cool. I mean, it gave you a better picture of the game. I didn't care for the bear stuff that they showed between E3 and now, but the footage they showed today, oh, yeah, that's rivaling Uncharted 4 all day long, and I was like, yeah, I'm down with this one. So
yes, I think they tried to do what Nintendo did, and they did a little bit at E3. But what do they call it? Xbox Daily, where they kind of gave each game its own little 7 to 10 minutes and actually described what was happening, and that stuff really was. I thought was really well done. So that's why I gave the Gamescom. Like the Gamescom briefing was kind of boring and stuff. I'm gonna stick with C+ on it, but the stuff I've seen after the fact was really nice. So let's just break it down first. Before we get into the games, I do want to say the Windows 10 presentation and get your guys' thoughts. I know some people have already said this. It kind of feels like they're joining Xbox One and PC gamers into one. Like you can play cross-play, you can Xbox Live if you have Gold. You can get on your Windows 10 PC and sign in and talk to your friends on their 360s and Xbox Ones, like with voice chat, cross-game chat, and I really think they're just focusing on the Xbox brand, let alone not just the console. And I think the Windows 10 is the indicator. Because there's games like Killer Instinct's going to hit Windows 10, the Rare's new game's going to be on Windows 10, and a couple others that I was surprised to see. So what do you guys think on, is Microsoft maybe not going to get into the console business from this point on? Do you think they're just kind of making that gradual merge into the PC side of it, or?
That it's felt like that for me.
Yep.
Yeah, but I say it's felt like that
Yeah.
for me personally since like the 360 in some ways, and like going into this generation, especially considering how quickly, like what was it, their first year of games, like well, Titanfall I think already was confirmed for PC. You had Rise and Dead Rising already coming to PC, and I think they were only out for like what, a year or even less than that. I'm like, at this point, I'm just like, if you own a Microsoft console, you could just buy like a hyped up or build a PC or buy like an Alienware PC and be fine, because almost every game, minus a few of them, are coming to the PC, and I'm just like, that's part of the reason why I've never been interested in Xbox through the 360 era, because it felt like at a certain point they were just kind of like, we just want to have the game for a little while and then we don't care, and that, to me, that detracts from the purpose of owning a console. Like I don't want a console that's only gonna be relevant for like 3 years, and like then I can get the game somewhere else. Like that, it's, I don't know. It never really fit with me. But yeah, it just feels like they're going completely PC. Next generation, I wouldn't be surprised if almost every game, if not every game, is cross-compatible with Windows
Yeah,
10.
because they did say cross-buy, cloud saves. You'll be able to start playing. You'd play on your PC, and then or any Windows 10 device that's capable of playing the game, and then finish on your Xbox One. So we got 3 Xbox One owners in this podcast.
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Level. How do you feel knowing that they're kind of leaning that way? Do you like the idea of being able to broaden your friends list with people who have PCs? I mean, what's your thoughts on that overall?
I mean, as a consumer right now who bought the Xbox One, I would say for the Xbox One's sake, I don't like it, because you pretty much, like Terrell was saying, you basically cutting out opportunities of sale. If you got a PC, and like you right with yourself, Terminator, you don't have to buy the Xbox One to try out certain games now. You can just buy for your PC. So, but in the long haul, I think Microsoft is making a wise decision. Basically, what I'm saying is this is probably going to be their last Xbox, and probably going to have a Windows 10 or whatever Windows dedicated, almost like an Alienware type of platform, and PC on from there. I don't think they're going to make a new system like they've been making. I think the Xbox brand probably be it, and then they're going to switch it over to something else and go from there. That's what I think they're doing. Because everything, if you putting all the games that's coming to the Xbox on PC, there's no point of the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? What's the point?
Yeah, it's like, other than having that box in your living room and not, having to, like me, I have a mid tower, which is a really big PC, and I'm not going to put that in my living room ever. So
yeah, I'm just saying, I'm thinking the next whenever they release this hardware, if it is the Xbox, is going to be designed on like a PC, like an Alienware level, and they're going to probably try to bridge people to going into that PC world. The ones that don't want to go there, they kind of giving you a bridge to PC, and you kind of getting your first taste of it with the Xbox One, and then the next system probably be something even closer to a PC. Then from there, you probably be like, man, I want to try out this PC stuff. So that's what I think they're doing. They're trying to warm you up to something that's coming down the pipe later.
And I mean, from my perspective, it's cool because I can pick up Killer Instinct Season 3 and I can play against you and Mizzy and Robert on my PC, and we can do the game chat. So from my perspective, it's really cool, and it saves me having to buy an Xbox One.
Right.
I can play Tomb Raider, I can play Killer Instinct. I'm not sure on Quantum Break.
From that angle, yes, it's cool. I'm saying, like, for the success of this particular platform, I don't know if the recipe is successful for the actual Xbox One, but for Microsoft as a company, it's going to be very successful if they can lead people to a more lucrative place than constantly building this platform and dumping a whole bunch of money into it and never really making a return on the hardware.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
they
they can save.
away from that, that's what Microsoft. If they can get you used to playing with it on the computer and streaming it and all that stuff, you best believe what they make next is going to do more of the streaming stuff than the actual hardware stuff we're getting right now. And I think that's what they're trying to do, because the Xbox One is not as lucrative, or the Xbox division is not one of the more lucrative portions of Microsoft's company.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
they're
they might
trying to
actually.
get that fact.
I just think it might turn to an Xbox PC. That's what we might get.
Right,
Next
that's what I'm
generation.
saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's going to be an Xbox PC, but they ain't going to just throw you in there. They're going to gradually
Ease you into
that
it.
way. Yeah.
Well, look at it this way: Microsoft loses money on the hardware, but if they just say, "Okay, Dell, you want Xbox Live app built into your computer? Give us $5 for every Dell or every computer you sell, or Hewlett Packard." They could actually be making money on the license to have the Xbox app or the Xbox Live player, whatever, built in the computers, and actually make money off that instead of having to sell hardware and losing money on the hardware to try to make it competitive.
Right. And
So,
that's and that's what they was trying to do with the Xbox One before all the DRM stuff got cut out. They was basically trying to milk you into what they already doing on PC.
mhm.
But with the outcry, it was somebody said, I think it was Terminator, not Terminator, but Mr. T and John Shaw and everybody on the live and level was like, I'm curious what they could have done, like with the whole cloud stuff. Now that we kind of saw it demonstrated, I know I'm going a little ahead of where we want to go, but I think that all that was to lead the consumers and the Xbox fans who are not used to PC life to a PC-driven gaming experience, and I think Microsoft slowly but surely gonna do that. That's what I think they plan on doing.
Mhm. Definitely looking that way. So let's. I know Robert, you didn't really speak on that, but let's start talking about the individual games. And we'll start with Quantum Break. So we'll get your take on the game first, Robert, and then I'll go, and then we'll have a discussion about that, because that's one of the more ambitious-looking games, I think, coming out in 2016 from Microsoft.
Yeah, I think, well, Quantum Break looks really cool. I think the whole, stop in time, moving time, and all that time is a super cool, mechanic concept for a game. And I really love how it looks like they had, enemies that could do the same time thing, too. And that was really cool. I thought it was really interesting. But again, I thought the character was kind of, I don't know, kind of dull to me. But overall, I thought it looked pretty cool, and I think it will be pretty fun, I guess.
Yeah, did you hear that they reconfirmed the TV series, but it's only going to be, it's unlocked through the game. By playing the game, you actually unlock episodes of the show, which will fill in the story and give you other people's perspectives, whereas the game, you're mostly the main character.
Okay.
And
I
they
mean,
they went from no-name actors to some pretty well-known, not like top, AAA actors, but they got some pretty well-known actors.
They can act pretty like that.
Oh yeah, the dude from Game of Thrones, Aiden, I forget his last name. He plays Littlefinger on Game of Thrones. Amazing actor. Sean Ashmore is actually, I really like him, and his brother are good actors. And then Monahan, what's his first name? He's from The Lord of the Rings. He played Pip or Merry, I can't remember. And then some other actors. And the main character was, I thought he was more generic before. Now that he's an actor I like, even though it's going to contradict what we're talking about, what we're going to talk about later, but just the look in his eyes, you can see that character has been through a lot, and as a good having a pretty good actor portray that character, and all the motion cap they've done, I actually felt right away like I could understand where that character was coming from, just in the emotion in his eyes. So for me, it was nice that they got a good actor or someone I like to play the part and kind of convey the emotions of that character way better than just some, I don't know, they probably just had some, before it looked like just some unknown But so for me, I like that part of it, and the time travel or the time mechanics. I wish they'd show us how they worked. I gotta be honest. I got a Watch Dogs vibe from the new gameplay trailer.
I was gonna say that too.
It's not just the setting, even though it did kind of look like it, but it's like how much of this is actual the game that I'm going to be playing, because they cut to like a dude getting shot, like a slow motion of him flying. So I mean, it looked really cool, but I'm not sure what I was seeing was gameplay or not. I'm skeptical of that at this point, but I am more intrigued than I've ever been for this game personally. Anybody else want to chime in on Quantum Break?
Yeah. Now, as far as the actual live part of it, is that going to be on the Xbox One, or is that coming to cable?
No, that's just on the Xbox One through the game,
Okay.
as far as I understand.
Kind of like what they did with Halo.
All right. I'm gonna say, for me, the first thing I thought about, man, when I was watching it this time was, this is something I can actually play, and my wife can sit here and watch me play it, and actually get into the actual plot, the storyline, where it's driving to, the character development, and all that. I was sitting back like, this actually might be pretty cool, because before the game already looked cool to me, but the storyline or the live action part didn't look good to me at the first showing of it.
Yeah, it looked pretty amateurish.
Yeah, amateur and pointless, but with how they added and went back, I guess, and revised it and reworked it, I'm like, man, my wife can come down here and sit down and actually watch me play the game, and then scenes open up and we can watch. And as this story develop, they can be all into it with me. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's not like that. What's that? Rain? Something rain? Heavy rain. I hope it ain't like that. They deceiving us on the action part, and it's really like Heavy Rain. I will go find whoever made this game
And make them slap themselves.
give them the homie the clown. Yeah, make him slap himself and give him the homie the clown. And give me a sock with some balls in it and slap him upside.
Yeah, that's why I said I got the Watch Dogs vibe, because I want to believe it, like that's gameplay and there's all those cool things you can do, but also part of me thinks that it's so like scripted and stuff too. Like I wasn't sure what to believe.
Well, the first demo I saw of it, I think it was
E3 last year.
Yeah, I think if it's like that, that's real game. That was real gameplay. But like I said, it didn't show enough this time for me to draw any real conclusion on what was what, because of the way that they presented it. And they haven't really shown any extended versions like they just did with the Tomb Raider. They haven't done that with Quantum Break. So
yeah, it was all cut. It was all cut up. So
yeah, it was also choppy. So
you couldn't see what was like, okay, this is your gameplay, your action, now you're exploring. It was just kind of jumping around, so it was hard to. And I know the time loop, they said there's like time loops and times freezes. You know, that's part of the game, but I think for the presentation, they just kind of jumped ahead.
yeah.
And we're all over the place. T or Terrell, either of you want to speak on Quantum Break?
I don't know.
No pressure.
I like the mechanic. I just wasn't really. It feels like something I'd be more inclined to watch than I'd be like I care about playing. I think that was my problem. And then like when I saw the trailer showing off like it's a mixture of the live action stuff with the game, I was kind of like, because I didn't understand that it was a live action thing with the game, and so I was kind of confused for a second. But it looks. I don't know. Gameplay wise, I have a hard time believing what I'm seeing. If it did turn out the way it does, I'd be more interested. But I have a high suspicion it's not going to. But that's just me being a pessimist. But if it turns out to be true, it looks relatively cool. I mean, I like the time mechanics. And I kind of like the way it kind of feels like you're glitching through the world in a way. But I don't know. That's just my general thoughts.
It's definitely a cool idea for a video game, and I hope they do put more emphasis on the game. But they got those bigger name actors now. I have a feeling they're spending more of their time and energy on that part of it, the story and the.
It's gonna be another
action.
It's gonna be another Kevin Spacey.
That's what worries me is I'm worried that because of the TV show stuff, that it might end up and Matrix Reloaded Revolutions kind of deal, where
Watered down and
it
rushed.
seems, yeah, it just seems really good on paper, like all that stuff that the Matrix was trying to do, like have the video game and the animatrix and all that tie into the, you know, the whole story or whatever. That all seemed cool on paper, but it wasn't implemented really well. And I'm worried that, you know, that could happen to this game. And, you know, pessimism aside, I'm also worried that the main gameplay mechanic might get repetitive.
Yeah, I see that.
You know, I'm just because the best game I can compare it to is like a Max Payne, with, you know, how you slow motion or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
Right. So, and I like Max Payne, but that kind of stuff did get kind of repetitive. You know, going in every room, kind of doing that slow motion stuff. So
But that's pretty much all the games that you playing on them two consoles, man. Really.
yeah.
Because
And
Batman
it's like-
right now getting so, I'm not gonna lie, it's very repetitive. Like, I like it, but
What's that?
Batman.
Oh yeah,
Arkham
Batman. Yeah.
Oh, it's very repetitive at about the fifth or sixth boss fight. You like, okay, I've done this before.
But
The
man,
first-
them graphics though.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't get the console. For it.
Well, the first game was new and fresh. The combat system. I picked up Arkham City for $14, the Armored Edition on the Wii U. I played it for an hour. I couldn't wait to get to a save point because I'm like, ever since Bayonetta 2, it's hard to play different combat action, you know, sequences and games where you just like you get the little signal, you press X and he counters, and he basically auto attacks all over the place. And
which is bad because Arkham City is the best to me. It still looks like it's the best game out of the series.
and it sucks going to 30 frames per second, and that game feels like it's 20 to 30. I did feel that. I felt very sluggish moving around and stuff in the city. So, but that's a little off topic. But yeah, Quantum Break looks like it could potentially have that problem. Maybe that's why they only show it in short bursts, because it's just the same gameplay over and over.
I mean, they
but-
just need to show it where somebody's actually playing it for a while,
Mhm.
you know?
And I gotta say, you know, like The Last of Us, it also reminds me of The Last of Us in some of the settings they showed. You know, that's the same gameplay over and over. Take cover, shoot, and sneak around. I mean, there was some variations, but that was still fun to play because it was a solid foundation and a great story. So maybe Quantum Break can fall into that. I don't think it'll be
Yeah. As long as
9.5 out of 10.
the
reviews.
gameplay is fun and the story is solid, then, you know, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, that's what it depends on for me, is if the progression is actually worth keeping your attention. Because like the Tomb Raider for the definitive edition or whatever you want to call it, that's what messed that game up. After a while, even where it was taking you as far as the locations and the story, it got boring, and the gameplay had been pretty much, been grown old of it. It was like, okay, I'm just doing it to get through the storyline.
Yeah.
If they can have a good, Uncharted 2 was like that, but I enjoyed the storyline so much, I just bypassed the whole fact that it wasn't much difference from stage to stage in what I was doing. You pick up a grenade, throw it, shoot, hide, duck, run, jump, say something crazy, do that, the car chase, run from the car, duck over time. After a while, it's like, okay, we pretty much exhausted all we're going to do for us gameplay, but the storyline and the progression and the stages and the settings is what made that game so great to me. So if they can do that.
Let me ask you guys about Uncharted, because Tomb Raider, you would upgrade abilities and be able to access new places, kind of like a Metroid game. Did Uncharted have anything like that?
Uncharted is linear as linear can be.
Yeah, it's straight up linear.
Yeah.
But it's fun. That's what.
It's fun, though. It's super fun.
I liked in Tomb Raider, it's like, okay, now you can shoot your bow and arrow into like this rock, and you can you get that little thing that makes you go up the line like a motorized.
That was one of my favorite things about Tomb Raider.
And I'm like, man, now I can access these areas and I can go back and I know all the. It felt like Metroid to me, so that's.
With Tomb Raider, I don't know if are we moving on from Quantum Break?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Tomb Raider.
He didn't say anything. I don't know if he wanted to finish up on his thought or not. Because I kind of interrupted.
Oh no, you good?
Oh, okay. With Tomb Raider, I just hope they pick up the pace from. I felt like the last Tomb Raider, only reason it suffered compared to Uncharted was the pace, and it was slow, real slow. Like
there's a couple times where it was like,
man, could y'all pick up either the action or the speed of the character? Or and I do like the fact that you do open up abilities, but some abilities should be there from jump, like the ability to punch. I don't think this is something that I should be learning how to do. I should be able to, to punch, but maybe add some more moves to that punch. But outside of that, I was watching the trailer today, and I don't mean to take over, but I was watching the trailer today, and I went back and I watched the Uncharted trailer of the car scene where they're racing, and the scene before that when they was had the little gunplay in the little marketplace. If you watch and compare, Uncharted is fast. It's like Drake shoot this guy, shoot this. It's moving so fast, and the gunplay in Tomb Raider, the part where the dudes drop out the sky and kind of tear up the temple, and then it goes into the shooting part. It was real slow. It's like, oh, okay, y'all got to speed this up, So, far as my opinion, I think that's the only thing about Tomb Raider that I think needs to be changed is the speed of the character. But
I like the prospect of actually raiding tombs.
I was just about to say that.
And the one location they showed was, visually interesting to look at. A lot of platforming, the stuff I like. And they kind of skipped through. They didn't want to show you the whole process of getting to where it, then it was collapsing at the end. I imagine that's like the first temple.
Yeah, I think so.
As a Tomb Raider fan from way back, starting on Sega Saturn, and yes, Saturn was the original version. The PS1 version is a port of the Saturn version. Thank you very much. So all you guys that think that Tomb Raider belongs to Sony, no.
Saturn fanboy alert.
I don't know facts, man. Drop
facts. It's a fact.
I know.
But yeah, to be actually raiding tombs again, I love that. So I'm glad that they're making that an emphasis again, because it is called Tomb Raider. So let's not try to copy Uncharted through and through.
Well, I think Uncharted 2 is that's why I think Uncharted 2 is my favorite one, because of the fact that you was in a lot of tombs and a lot of exotic, very attainable places that you wouldn't see in an everyday setting, like the temples and the underground where you climb up the little knife. But the third Uncharted was in regular city. I was like, man, I don't want to see no more of this.
That's whack.
I felt like Uncharted 3 was, and I felt like Tomb Raider, the first Tomb Raider, didn't have enough scenery that put you in that what Terminator was talking about, in those temples and in those tombs where you going in these real remote, different. You gotta, the creator got to be very creative in his visuals to present this place that you're going to raid. Yeah. I think this is what's making me so amped about this game, because the settings is what I like about it. It makes you kind of drift off into imagination.
And you kind of got to give Tomb Raider, I hate that they called it that. They should have called it Tomb Raider Origin or something. I hate you got to kind of give it a pass, because it was the origin of Lara Croft. So she was kind of learning her ability to fight and shoot and all that stuff. And so you kind of got to accept that. A lot of people didn't. I did a little bit. I mostly did. Like you said, my issues was the pacing.
Yeah, they made it
towards the end
more of an action movie with some cool elements in there, but it was less Tomb Raider-y.
Yeah, and this one should be the Tomb Raider game. This one coming up, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
It's definitely like it.
Yeah.
And like that gameplay, I don't know, Terrell or Robert, if you saw the gameplay uploaded today that we're talking about.
Yeah, like I've seen it.
I don't know if I said this on air yet or not, but that's what they should have showed at E3. That got me personally really excited for this game, to the point where I don't know if I can wait. If I want to wait till spring to get it on my PC, that's how excited I was to see the actual gameplay that I like. From Tomb Raider.
Can't get here fast enough for that one. I'm looking forward to that one.
So Terrell or Robert, I don't know I can't remember which one you just answered, but
that was me saying I saw the gameplay.
Okay. So what do you think?
Looks cool. I have the first one sitting on my PS3 that I haven't played yet, so I need to get on that. But I will say, my interest in the game, fucking phone, damn it. Someone wants to call me as soon as I'm fuck that phone. Anyways, based on the gameplay I saw today, I will say I'm a lot more interested in the game than I was before. To the point to where I want to beat the first one, and then I'll wait until like the PlayStation 4 version comes out. So when like I have that Batman, when they make it like a Game of the Year edition, and then fucking Kingdom Hearts 3, and I can just get all three of those at once. But that one, I'll say that it really intrigued me. I was pleasantly surprised by that gameplay from the day. That made that game relevant in my mind to me, because I didn't care before. So the fact that it even got me interested, I give points to that gameplay footage. That was nice.
The one thing I will say about at least the two new Tomb Raider games, including this one, is that if you're in another room and you hear somebody playing it, it sounds like soft porn or something, man. Because all that panting and all that stuff she's doing is a little
Yeah,
a little suspect.
I could see that. And for those of you that don't know, the voice actor who does the voice of the Tomb Raider in this game and the one before is a young actress who was featured in the TV series Californication, the Showtime show. Very R-rated show.
Mm-hmm.
So and she's a cute girl. She doesn't look. She's not stacked. She's not stacked like Laura Croft, but she's a cute girl. And if you want to get the real girl that goes with that voice, because that's a very nice voice. I think season 4.
We already know what Terminator be doing when he plays.
Let's just say they don't leave anything to the imagination with her.
Terminator has a folder of all the sound clips.
Look at him. Terminator pulling us married men into the den of lust.
So if you got Netflix, check out Californication.
Check out that California.
Because I'm like watching, like, man, this girl's cute. I know that voice from somewhere. Because I'd played the game before.
Terminator, you be like, girl, you look good. Girl.
She looks better in the game. I wish she looked like she does in the game, but she's still cute. But
hey, have y'all noticed that while we on this topic, the actual model design for Laura Croft is way more sensual than she was in the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all noticed that?
We're gonna get that.
I think there's a few more polygons there.
Like the shape, the curvature, and everything is a little bit more defined and a little more accentuated.
That's what I'm saying. I think they had a few more polygons to round things out.
Yeah, they made it more realistic, quote unquote. Her endowments and
she needs to be fat if it's gonna be real.
A lot of butt.
Right.
Yeah, the butt looks a lot better, I would say.
Yeah. It's not all squared off like it used to be.
Yeah.
So this will be the ass podcast.
She was glistening.
Yeah, when she got out of that water.
She was glistening. As she stood out the water, she glistened.
Wow.
He did, man.
What's Sean Troll got to say about that? Anything?
Oh man, I don't know about that one. That's a little too risque for Shaw Troll, I think.
I was definitely looking at that cake as
My
would
God.
say.
Oh, we are diving deep in this one.
This is the ass podcast. Welcome.
Let's climb out of this tomb.
My demographic, and only like 3% is female, so we're okay.
Let's climb out of this tomb.
Well, it's gonna drop to 2 in a minute.
I told you, Terminator took us down a den of lust. Look at it.
See, Terminator's a freak. He just don't tell nobody. That's what
Let's just say, I don't mind a protagonist like Laura Croft.
Just stop. Just
Oh,
stop.
God.
The hole's deep as hell now. Just stop.
Oh, the hole?
Oh, no. Oh, no, you made it
God
worse.
damn it. God
Hey, we got a
damn it.
minor. We have a minor in the
I
podcast.
apologize.
No, but that's fine. That's fine.
I know
All
he's
right,
quiet over there. He's been doing something anyway.
Robert, anything you want to add to our Tomb Raider discussion?
Oh, no, you can keep a straight face on that.
I don't even know. Well, first of all, the environments, like you guys were saying, are just awesome. Those environments are beautiful. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to continue talking about her ass or something, but
No. I think we covered it, if you will.
I'm a little disturbed by how
Covered
messed
it in
up she
what?
be getting, though. She be getting all scratched up and scraped up.
wait. So
know.
would you cover that ass in?
Oh, boy. Then you
Wow.
gotta pull that down.
Moving on. No.
This is the corruption of
No,
minors.
seriously
We're
though, let's,
corrupting minors now.
yeah, this is like illegal and shit.
I'm a believer in the Lord, and I don't need to be talking about this stuff.
Let's just say,
Open the door and let me out.
let's just say there's some beautiful lighting effects and some water reflections. And the game looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
Looks like a
It
step
does
up.
look good.
Do y'all
Looks
think like Terminator? On the last question for me, do you think that's the PC or do you think that's actual Xbox One?
I think that's PC. It looked really clean on especially on my phone. It looked really clean.
I watched it on my, with the cool technology we have, my smart TV. I could upload it right to from my phone to my TV. So I watched it big screen, and there was a little jag in there. I think it's possible that it could have been Xbox One.
This is
Yeah,
Xbox.
because her hair was moving really like the ultra setting on the PC build of the original or the first one.
I didn't think it looked so crazy that it couldn't be Xbox One.
It's-
Yeah, I didn't either, but I'm just
They
curious.
look good.
on my
I think it
phone,
was Xbox.
everything looks really nice, and I just thought it looked better than
Small
anything I'd
screen,
seen.
too, though.
Yeah, you need
Yeah,
to
that's
bring
true.
it up to a big screen.
All right. So before we get on to the final game I want to talk about, which will be Scalebound, does anybody have any indie games or any other announcements they want to give props to before we move on to the final game?
Yeah, did y'all? I don't know if Mr. T remember. We made a statement about how they didn't show any. We haven't seen any more Star Fox footage.
Yeah. Well, we saw at
They
Gamescom. We just saw the same stuff we saw at E3. So
Yeah,
The
but they got a new one out. I guess when they turned into the little, I don't know what that is, a Tyrannosaurus Rex or whatever.
the R-Wing Rex.
Yeah, did y'all see the new footage on that?
Yeah, that
it's
actually part of the.
technically-
They revealed that at the Treehouse.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah,
Only
it's-
one of
it's-
the
it was exclusive Treehouse footage. That's all.
But it was nice to see IGN promoting that as new footage because I don't think a lot of people watched the Treehouse. They were a little upset with the
Yeah.
visual event.
I almost missed it because I was sipping Coronas. So.
I think it looks. I think
Nobody knows the trouble I see.
Oh my!
but I thought I watched that on my phone too, and I think the game looks good for the art style they're going for. But if anyone here was if that was your first time seeing that level inside the Halo looking thing,
Yeah, that was my first time seeing that.
so what was
I
your
was one of
thoughts?
those ones who was still crying. You know what I'm saying? Sipping on my tension tea. So no, but it looked cool to me, man. It looked real good to me, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, I'm back on the Star Fox ship. So
Yeah, I mean,
It's up and down. It's like some
Yeah.
footage looks like and then some footage is like, oh, that's pretty good. So I need some consistency in the footage.
I
that's
think the game itself is going to be good, but the I don't know what they're doing with the presentation and how they present it.
I think that's
yeah,
what I'm
those
holding out for.
lettering, like your points, the letter, the character, like Mr. T said, that's like Roman
Times New Roman, that font, man.
yeah,
That's
it's
just
like
like
the
the bare bones. Yeah.
generic font. So I hope they spruce it up somehow, but.
I think they will. I think, like I said before, I alluded to this is an older build. They didn't want to take the resources away to make a newer build closer to
Yeah.
what they have right now, because that does take time to make a demo. A demo is not like, oh, we'll just make a demo. It takes time to build a demo.
If they were just taking it somewhere and showing it, then they can just bring the dev kit
Right.
and show the part they want. But to actually put a demo together for the showroom floor,
Right. That takes resources, and I'm sure they're just pumping this thing trying to get this game out in time. So that's why I think some of the game looks really good and some of it looks because they didn't have enough time to like put it all together the way they wanted to. So I'm holding out. I will say, well, I won't say that yet. Never mind.
Damn it! No,
that-
jeez.
that level, the Landmaster level, was shown in the treehouse, and I want to talk
I
about.
missed all that, man.
Yeah, that's.
You didn't see the
I wanna
Landmaster.
I'm gonna defend myself a little bit here. And Ms. T, you guys kind of talked about this a little bit in the Live and Leveled, and you talked about people saying that certain people were lying in their videos, lying to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. That I was accused of lying to myself and to my fans about saying Nintendo still won E3 for me personally. You guys hit on 2 points in the Live and Leveled. You talked about the Nintendo World Championship, how seeing Super Mario Maker in those final levels, how it reminded you of like the final scene from The Wizard, and how that was just an amazing moment. And then the the footage of Star Fox that Leveled just saw, I saw that back at E3, and that's kind of where I'd come to the conclusion after I'd seen all the Treehouse stuff. I'm like, you know what? They did pull off a slight victory. I never said it was just an amazing knockout. To me, that just took them just over the edge of average and made E3 worthwhile for me. And I just wanted to reiterate that. And I think a lot of people just didn't watch the Treehouse. They were just devastated and didn't watch a lot of the stuff.
Well, I think a lot of people got caught up in the hype of games that ain't come out till 2017.
Right.
It's like, oh, look at this. This is coming, guys. We ain't gonna tell you when, but it's coming.
So,
hell, you weren't even getting gameplay trailers. You were just getting announcements that the game was being made.
Yeah,
and so what everybody else had done wasn't that great. And so what you were trying to say is that adding all this together, you thought that was, the best. So
it wasn't amazing. It wasn't nowhere near as good as
Right.
last year's. But for me, that was enough to say Nintendo still gave me the most salvage
you were
E3.
pretty much summing up the whole E3 experience from Sunday through Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was doing.
So, because as far as I think everybody else was pretty much isolating the actual digital event.
Yeah.
And
So-
me, I couldn't agree or disagree with you on that because one, I didn't see the Nintendo World Championships until after, and then once the presentation for the E3 digital event came, I wasn't motivated to watch any of the Treehouse or any of that stuff. So by the time you came out with the video, I couldn't say. I took your opinion as your opinion, and I couldn't say you crazy or you're exactly right.
I think all of us was like, I remember when the video, I think it was so close to the traumatic
Too soon.
Yeah.
of E3.
Yeah.
I should have waited a couple more
still
days.
In the trauma stage, I was like,
It wouldn't have mattered because certain people just wanted to.
yeah, I think if you probably
that
came with that video maybe a week or so removed and came back like, this is my second opinion on E3, I think it would have been received a lot more.
I think so. But, I mean, I was being honest.
I didn't think it got received that bad outside of a few people.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I didn't know, y'all, you know me, I didn't know that there was a problem with the video. I mean, I agree with some points, I disagree with other points, and I moved on, but apparently that started the big war that is what type of Nintendo
Civil War, the Nintendo
Civil War, man.
That was kind of the launching pad for.
It's your fault, Terminator. It's your
It
fault.
was. Honestly, I take some responsibility for that. But honestly, like hearing you guys, I was at work on Monday, I think.
That was a long podcast. You
Listen to a 3-hour
Seriously.
Live and Leveled podcast,
that one was long.
and hearing you guys talk about the Nintendo World Championship and how Super Mario Maker was elevated to like must-buy status, it brought me back to that moment watching John Numbers and what was the other guy's name? CK or something.
Oh my God! I know.
Either way, watching the crowd react when
Cosmo.
when John Numbers figured out and he was launching off those short little conveyor belts and he finally figured it out and the crowd was just like it's like when a kick returner is returning a kick for a touchdown, the noise just builds and builds and builds. And just hearing you guys talk about that was just like, it was kind of justification for me for that video I made. And I was just like, yep, that World Championship for me was the highlight of E3. And I mean,
how could that not make you fold up and turn into a little kid again if you watched that? It felt like, watching those little, I can't remember what show it was on Nickelodeon, where they would have like, you played a lot of Battletoads on that show. I can't remember what it was called. But they would have all these little tournament championship things, and it just took me right back to being a kid watching that. I was like, how can you not think that was awesome? I mean, if you were a Nintendo fan especially, that, said you started from way back when, how could that not take you right back to like, Fred Savage and the, and the
Super Mario Brothers 3 for the
right,
first.
like that's what it felt like watching that. I was like, wow, this is greatness.
So let's go to the 16-year-old. He doesn't remember when Super Mario Brothers 3 commercials came out and that
Never
game
saw
hit.
it.
And
You got to go. You got to go. Yeah, you got to go watch that. Right
the
after we're done
original.
here.
You probably never seen The Wizard, the movie with the
Nope,
power.
never saw that.
So, did you watch the Nintendo World Championship?
Oh yeah, the whole thing. It was amazing. In my opinion, as a 16-year-old, still, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was like one of the best things during E3. I loved every single game that I was playing, even though that they kind of tricked us on that blast ball thing. We didn't know it was Metroid. You know what I mean? But what are you gonna do about that? But even though the blast ball looks super fun and everything was just competitive, everyone was, I was like, yeah, cheering during Super Mario Maker. It was super epic.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, the only really blemish is frickin' Reggie versus.
Oh, that was
That was
bad.
really
That
good.
was-
We don't even talk about that.
Well,
It's
we're
funny.
getting off topic, but I just wanted to get your take.
Kevin Pereira was the host, and I didn't want to strangle him.
No, but
Yeah.
I like how this one part. He actually says when Reggie and Hungry Box are super close. He says, "I think I'm gonna be pregnant." I thought that was funny.
No, I'm saying Kevin Pereira was a host, and I didn't want to strangle him. That's
Yeah.
how good that it worked out for me. Like that's how good
He
it
wasn't
was.
hitting like hilarious jokes, but he was.
No,
he
he
was
was
a good host.
solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back on the game.
What we're talking about, Scalebound? What's that?
All right, so Scalebound, Platinum Games have been, they had a cinematic CGI trailer last year. Didn't really pay attention to much about it other than it was dragons, and they showed I think they showed multiple creatures and stuff, and I was excited. After playing Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 1, I was really excited to see what Platinum was going to do. So I had expectations, and I'm gonna say that my initial impressions was not as good as now that I've thought about it and gotten over it. I moved on and ready to see more of the game. But my initial impressions were when Kamiya says action RPG, my heart sank a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody knows RPGs aren't my genre of choice, not my cup of tea.
Dude.
Which is weird because you seem to like elements of
Zelda's
RPGs.
action
I know.
RPG.
But when I hear RPG, I just immediately I get judgy. I start judging negatively because I don't think of Zelda as an action RPG. I never even associate RPG with Zelda in my mind. Right or wrong, that's me. So what I'm watching on screen, I see a cool dragon. I see a pretty cool setting. I see some numbers flying when you make contact. But this is my very first time watching it, and I had not been on Twitter. I hadn't been on Google Plus. All I saw was someone said, "Can't wait for this game," and I clicked on the video, and I was like, okay, maybe. And then I hear the main character just talking trash, and it really turned me off at that point. I was ready just to shit on the game, but I've thought about it. I've watched the trailer multiple times. The combat it's very Platinum looking at times. Hopefully they can work out that frame rate. It was looking a little sluggish, but it's a year and a half away. They got a year and a half. That game's coming along. It's a long ways off. But my spirits have lifted on the game. I've gotten over the RPG side of it. Once people pointed out, like Leveled said, you get to control your character the whole time. It's no turn based. So I am more intrigued now. I'm hoping they can polish up that frame rate, and I do want to see more of the game and see how the 4-player stuff's going to work. So I've actually gone from giving it like a D- to it's like a C+ right now. I won't get into my biggest problem until we go to our final topic.
Aren't you checking for Xenoblade Chronicles X though?
I am.
That's way more RPG than.
I know.
Yeah,
But when I first saw that game, I was like, bleh. And then I saw a little bit more, and I was like, okay, that looks interesting. Then I saw all the different environments. I'm like, okay, I love sci-fi. this is really appealing to me. And then I played Xenoblade Chronicles, and I was like, all right, I do like the combat system. So it was a slow progress. Xenoblade was a lot longer of a process for me than Scalebound is already higher up on my list. But yeah, that's true. X, I just love the setting of X even more than Scalebound. But yeah, each time a game like that comes out, I start from zero, and I gotta work my way up. When I see it's kind of an RPG style game. So anyway, next. Anybody else want to go next on Scalebound?
I'll take next. I'm kind of smack dab in the middle. I guess the way I would describe my opinion is I'm relatively indifferent. And it's because I've kind of learned through the type of games I've played from Platinum. And ironically, one of the reasons, one of my issues with the game is also going into the later topic we're going to talk about. But I always like the more goofy, ridiculous games. Like I'm a huge fan of Beautiful Joe and like Wonderful 101. I still think that game was better than what people gave it credit for. And even Bayonetta 2, because I never got into Devil May Cry, and that's really what I got reminded of when I watched it. And it's not the setting, but more so the main character. The main character reminds me a lot of Dante in that kind of cheesy, like punk rocker kind of feel from it. I don't know how to describe it. And I think the other problem is like you give me the dragon can destroy stuff, and it's like, well, let me guess, you're gonna be fighting monsters and like military guys, and you're probably gonna be protecting some. It's like I'm turning into some environmentalist shit. Like it didn't, like just looking at the game, the way the game is set up and the combat just kind of went, well, I like RPGs, and it looks kind of cool, but like everything surrounding the game, like fucking. It just feels samey. I've either played this before or I've seen it before. Like the main character reminds me of Dante, and like the premise reminds me of something like some environmentalist shit. Like I just didn't feel. I like his more goofier games than his like realistic games. Bayonetta's the exception, and as I said, I'll go into that later. But
is it? Would you say it's fair to say not what you were hoping for or expecting? When you saw
I'll be honest, I wasn't really expecting anything. I kind of kept my expectations pretty low. So I'm not. That's why I say I'm not disappointed. I'm just indifferent towards it. And like, the more I see the game in different environments, maybe different characters, it'll help me get into the game more. Because I mean, like for a game like this, even Bayonetta kind of had to push me a little bit. And the fact that I played the first game also helps. So, but like for here, it's just kind of like the more I see of the game, the more I warm up to it. But right now, I'm just kind of like, it's a game. It's a game that I might play.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll just quickly say, I'm sure it's going to be a great game, or a really good game at least. And obviously, I wasn't as impressed by it as I thought I would be. Some of that had to do with the frame rate. And yeah, I don't like the protagonist character model. I totally got the Dante vibe from the new Devil May Cry.
The DMC.
Yeah, DMC.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I was like, no. I never liked that character design for Dante, and I don't like this kid either. But I just want to talk about the Xbox fanboys real quick, because I feel like they're hyping this game up, and the only reason they care about it is because it's exclusive to Xbox One. They just need to stop. They need to stop.
Oh, it'll be on Windows 10 soon enough. It'll be on Windows 10 soon enough.
Right. And not just that, but also apparently Xbox fans like Rare now, which is new to me. I never knew they cared about Rare so much, but apparently they do now. But
I mean, like I said, it's a Platinum game, so my first impressions were like, oh my god, terrible. But now, I gotta give them some trust because they have put out many good games.
Right,
so
their
I'm
track record is stellar.
That they're gonna make it work, and they're hopefully make a solid experience. And
that's kind of where I want to jump in. Let's we in 360. He has anything to say?
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah, what happened?
You got anything on Scalebound?
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking that I mean, I didn't really pay attention to the character too much. I think I kind of like the headphones. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I just randomly got headphones, but I think the combat system looks fun. You know, it's gonna be cool, and I like the dragons and the creatures and all those guys in it. And the setting looks awesome, and it looks like it's gonna be a fun game because again, it is platinum. Bayonetta 2 was awesome. It was a great game, and I mean, I have nothing really to complain about Scalebound. Of course, you know the frame rate could be better and stuff, but you know it is a year and a half away, and it'll get better as we see it. I mean, that's really how it comes down to, really.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
okay, for me, we kind of had this topic on Live and Level, but we came from a different angle, and I kind of want to preface my statement based on that. I think for the most part, everyone came away from watching Scalebound with the same impression that it has potential, but it has some problems with, the frame rate, even way the model animation was, all that was kind of questionable. But what bothered me more about it was the fact of when I hold up. Anyway, when I left out from watching that video and seeing all the posts, I'm not gonna lie, some folks disappointed me, and it was not necessarily not liking the game because I didn't care. It wasn't impressive to me, but at the same time, like, well, I wasn't expecting much from it anyway. But it was the way that the wording in their disapproval or dissatisfaction in the game. It was how they worded it and how they went about putting it out there to the public. I felt like was just a little more hate than just being critical and or truthful about what they or others had seen. There was a whole bunch of these posts, so that was and it kind of sparked inspiration for has the hating gone too far, which I'm pretty sure was probably taken the wrong way by a few people. So, but for the most part, I agree that the game needs some work. It's obvious the game needs some work. But at the same time, I believe had this game been on a PlayStation 4,
right,
the Wii U, would the Venom has been as so
right?
venomous had it been on our preferred piece of plastic. So
Yeah,
I think most of the Venom though was coming from Sony fanboys who mad that the game is exclusive to Xbox One.
Right.
It should be on the Sony system. That kind of game. I think that's where most of the salt is coming from.
I did see some Nintendo fans kind of.
Yeah, there's gonna be a few.
But I get what Level's saying. There's a way to say, like I said, the game. I heard RPG. I saw frame rate, and I saw a main character that I just hate. Literally hate. From every third time watching it, I just despise the main character.
My God, dude.
But I still see potential in the gameplay. The world, the setting looks cool. Looks very Avatar. There's like mountains floating in the background.
What is?
And it's Platinum Games, so I've come around. But I didn't just get on Google and be like, oh, this game looks like shit. Kamiya should be fired. Boycott. Like, when I see people, so-called, I've even seen Nintendo fans, like, okay, Splatoon come out, didn't have the content. Oh, Nintendo, they suck. The Wii U's garbage now. Like, instead of just giving your opinion in a civil way, saying why you didn't like it and, putting out your reasons, just like attacking the people that maybe did like it. That's where I think Level, what you're kind of hinting at. Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't impress me, but when I first saw Scalebound, I wasn't impressed. Even with the whole dragons, okay, cool, whatever. But there is a way to say I don't like something without bringing it. It's like, are you trying to get attention? Are you just trying to state you didn't like it? Which one are you trying to do? It's like, cause the way you word it going to get certain attention. And it seems like some people be seeking for that attention. And it's like, if you don't want to be seen this way or viewed this way, check out how you saying it. Check out how you putting it out there on a system that you don't prefer or don't care for or don't own, and you say it a certain way. That's why I'm careful about how I word stuff, like how I say what I'm going to say about Sony or Microsoft or even Nintendo. I'm wording it a certain way so that my point can be understood, not how I said it. You know what I'm saying? So it detracts from what I was trying to relate to whoever reading or listening to me. I want you to get what I'm trying to say, not take what I'm saying and put me in a prism of, oh, he just one of them Nintendo fanboys. I'm trying to move away from that. I want you to get my point. So
yeah, I mean, there's nothing to hate about the game.
Right.
You can make points about the technical issues or whatever, but this game shouldn't invoke hate. It doesn't.
Oh,
That
the
doesn't
main
make any
character
sense.
did for me.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, other than like the main
I don't
character.
understand that, Juice.
And let me-
How quickly can you hate a
But
character?
what if it's a Monster Hunter
Terminator,
situation?
even your point on the character, that ain't about the game. That's just
Right. That's not even the
That
game.
that just makes me mad about the design
What if it's a
choice.
Xenoblade Chronicles or a Monster Hunter situation where you can make the character who you want to?
Hopefully you can, but the voice is pretty set as a teenage white dude.
Well, they got
you know.
different voices you can use in Monster Hunter.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you can
there's a
choose a
lot of
different
dialogue.
voice.
They had a lot of dialogue already, but we'll see. So let's get on to the main topic here, if you will. And Robert, he's a perfect counter to us old guys here, because he likes the headphones.
I'm not old. I'm very young.
I'm a very young 36.
I'm about to say, I think I'm still in the younger bracket right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Pretty old.
Yeah, I am.
me too.
So
6'2".
when I see a headphones on a character on a dragon, that just not seriously offends me, but it does bug me to the point where I'm like who are you trying to impress here? And it's obvious, the younger gamers. So let's talk about generic protagonists, and I got some characteristics or something that I've been noticing, and I know it's been going on a lot longer, and it's maybe kind of I maybe had my blinders on for a few years, but the point now, in my opinion, is the young, cocky character. You got the 18 to 20-ish, very confident, dressed like cool hipster style, male, obviously, almost always white, and I'm just to the point now where that's almost enough of a turnoff where I don't even want to play the game based on the protagonist, which is sad because DMC, the remake, had a similar character. Infamous Second Son had a similar character. I had another game written down, or another game in mind that had a character recently, and it's like it's all these. I just don't like cocky people in general. I don't mind confidence, but I just don't like cockiness. And I hate the cool hipster stuff that they're trying to make their character cool. For me personally, for a game like Scalebound, I would like a humble type character or someone with some honor or something. That's in that setting. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see cocky headphones on. So for me personally, it's not just that he's white. It's not just that he's a dude. It's everything together. It's young. It's cocky, and it's all that. So, we got Robert here. He's a 16-year-old kid. To you, you might love that kind of stuff, but for me personally, that to me is getting old, and I want to see a little more variety. So
You're getting old.
I am definitely getting old.
Oh my god.
Well, it's not that I love the dude. I honestly I didn't really notice his dialogue or anything that much. I was kind of just focusing on the combat, so I don't really know what he was saying in Scalebound in the trailer. But I thought the headphones. I also like randomness, and the fact that there's a random headphones. I kind of just laugh to it and make it funny to a certain point. But like for instance, Infamous Second Son. I know you guys are gonna be like, what? One of my favorite games of all time. Easy. It's like top 10 favorite games. Infamous Second Son surprised the heck out of me, and I love the main character. I do. Delson Rowe is one of my favorite video game characters, honestly. But I guess I never really saw him as like a generic dude because I found his humor to be really different, and I guess also to a sense because he has these powers, the smoke and the neon and all that stuff. But I can understand where you're coming from with a bunch of generic people. I would like to see some variety in different sort of sense. Like obviously I don't want every single one to wear headphones, be cocky, do have tattoos and all that stuff, and that's it. You know what I mean? I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming from a completely different perspective
Well,
And
let me throw my head in because I'm 24, so I'm more
okay.
onto I'm probably more on the younger side of things because I'm more in line with you, Terminator, in the sense that I don't find those type of characters interesting anymore. Actually, I don't think I've ever liked those characters. Also, because of my huge anime fandom, I love my favorite types of characters are the goofy, off the wall characters with like really weird quirks and shit. Like one of my favorite video game characters is Beautiful Joe, and like Beautiful Joe from like the get go is goofy. Like he screams out "Hinchin' a Go-Go Baby" every time he like changes his outfit.
The go-go, baby.
Yeah, like I love the off the wall stupid. I like the characters who scream out their attack names, which is really dumb from a logistical point of view. But I like that. I like the ridiculousness. I love the crazy spiky hair and the weird quirks, like the characters who like just to take a few anime quirks. It's like a character who is very pessimistic but insanely strong. Like I like those kind of gags, like things that don't make sense in real world because in video games I like the unrealism of it all. You know, and Bayonetta kind of to me reminded me of another thing I like. I like playing as girls, and I don't know if I like playing as girls because I haven't played as girls as much or because the girls are interesting. Because I've gravitated like in Splatoon. I'm a Squid girl. I'm not a Squid boy half the time. Bayonetta, Shantae, fucking, I get into that weird mindset. Metroid, you know, you don't have many girls to gravitate in games. It's not even, you know, the girl has to be like this super empowering female figure. It's just something different. Like, I think that's where it's gotten to, where it's like, just give me a character who doesn't feel like I've seen him 18,000 times. And I think the problem with the whole DMC type of character is that you've seen him too much. I've seen way too much of him, and he's like in every mainstream game. Like, give me a character who has like a personality disorder. Maybe he's like super shy, and it doesn't make any sense why he's as strong as he is or why he's even doing it. Because it makes for more interesting stories. You give me a cocky character, of course he's going to be the hothead who gets into trouble and always causes crap because he doesn't. And his story arc will always be the same. He has to learn how to calm down, to trust people, all that other dumb shit. Like, you give me a character with a different personality, it makes your stories better and more entertaining to me. So I understand where you're coming from, Terminator, when you say you can't stand the whole headphones thing. The headphones thing, to me, I don't mind the headphones thing with him. I just don't. But as soon as I saw the stupid dragon arm, I was like, no. That annoyed me way more than the friggin' headphones. Headphones, I don't care. But the dragon arm, I was like, that's Devil May Cry. That feels like Devil May Cry just looking at his arm. I'm like, no. Get out of here.
There was some nods to their past games, but I will bring up a movie that had a person riding a dragon called Aragorn or Aragon.
That's what I thought about too.
And it's like that was the same age, white kid, blonde, I believe, and I was like, that didn't really work in that movie.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
So it was terrible. So. I just before Level, you can come in here in a second. You know, I mentioned the recent trend of younger, but it's over the last like 15 years at least. Somebody put together like screenshots of all these main characters, from Drake to, I mean, just all these games, Call of Duties, and they used to be
Shepherd.
they used to be like mid-30s, scruffy white males, rough, 5 o'clock shadows or beards and stuff, and now it's kind of the younger. But I don't know. I don't have a problem taking this to the race thing here because as a white person, I'm starting to get annoyed and bored with the white characters, and I just want to, maybe take this into a little serious direction for a little bit here. We don't have to stick on that for too long, but I personally, like when I played Grand Theft Auto 5, like I liked, and I haven't played that game, I couldn't tell you any of the names of the characters right now.
Franklin,
Trevor, and Michael.
Michael and Trevor.
I haven't played that game in about 8 months, so I actually liked Franklin's character, and I played as him the most. And I don't know if that was subconscious just because he's different than what I'm used to playing in a game. Who was the crazy dude's name?
Trevor.
Trevor. Yeah. He was at least a little something different, crazy and stuff. So I didn't like the other guy. You said his name already.
Oh,
but
Michael, yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, he was
I
pretty
didn't like
boring.
him. So I don't. What do you guys think? Do you want to tackle this subject?
For me personally, man, I'm gonna kind of lean with Robert. Is that his name, Robert?
Yeah.
Um, first of all, we got to be honest, man. We we pushing the outer skirts of who is really being being put in focus here. Like they ain't really targeting us. They
Right.
trying to get the Roberts and the people in that age bracket. So the protagonist got to appeal to them, and we supposed to be beyond the actual, I guess, genericness of the character and more so focused on the gameplay and storyline. But
That's true.
me personally, man, this is nothing new. You know,
Yeah. No.
I mean, you got the dude, bro, character that's right a notch under Superman that can withstand 50 bullets and run into the enemy's camp blazing with his guns and just shooting people. You got that character. Most time it's gonna be white. You got the young, cocky, saying overly confident, sarcastic young male, white again, and he going with the same, cause that's what this demographic or this generation is like. If you watch him on TV, they're cocky, very look at Justin Bieber and all them, they cocky,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So the character is an expression of the time. So what to me was getting old is the fact that, and this like you said, Terminator, and me and Mr. T was on this in our podcast. This is getting into some very dicey areas, but you're not just seeing this in gaming, you're seeing this in movies as well.
Mhm.
Acting as if other races cannot carry the game as well as the prototypical just white, dude, bro, or generic iteration of what's popular at that time. And it's like, it would be nice to see a black guy that ain't super thug and talking with the super hood slang and you know what I'm saying, can we get some, our Mexican or even look, the people who make some of these games, Japanese characters, it's like we are diverse people who deal with diversity every day, but our games want to give us only one perspective. And to me, that's the biggest issue to me, more so than the genericness of the character. I didn't have no problem with the earphones or the dragging on. I really don't care. As long as the game is good, I don't care what the character.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if the game's great, I'll still play. I just think
I want to play devil's advocate here a little bit, though.
Go ahead.
We can't blame it all on media, blah, because if you look at the demographic of the designers and the people making these games, there's not a lot of us in there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you got to make what you don't got to make, but a lot of times you make what's in your environment, and then it's just you're a product of your environment. So if more of us would go into these jobs and not everybody trying to be the next Drake or Meek Mills or whoever they looking up to, going to school and trying to be game designers, that's on us, and then we can come in and say, or design our game and, run some of these companies and, make characters that reflect us better. We can't expect other people to do that all the time,
Right, but I agree and I don't agree to an extent. I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like I said, this go beyond even gaming. Like, okay, I don't know if y'all know this story about the whole Denzel Washington with what's that latest movie he came out with? Where he
Equalizer.
was like, Equalizer.
Equalizer.
There was a big issue because, with all that stuff was leaked out, that they didn't believe a black person could carry a role of that magnitude and generate funds. That was a big issue. They didn't believe he'd be a success overseas. And I heard Kevin Hart talking about this on another show where he was saying that a lot of times these companies don't trust anything outside of the prototypical, stereotype white male, over the top, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone type of person to go international. They don't believe any other group or male or even female can do the same thing. So it really ain't us being in the behind the scenes of, and we need to be on the other side making the games too. But at the same time, they know who they cater to. They know that it's not just white males buying these games. It ain't just
But
Robert.
it mostly is though. Like
It mostly is, but it ain't only. But you know, it's a lot of Asians buying the games. There's a lot of blacks and Mexicans, and so it's. If we're in a diverse world, you would think that should usurp. Oh, okay, well, there's more white males buying it, so that's all we're gonna make. That's to me, that's the bigger problem. But I feel.
Well, I was gonna say let me jump in here for a second because when we're talking about the demographics that are getting these games, I mean, even going into the black community specifically for a second, you don't hear that much about like black gamers, like hardcore gamers. You know, well, I guess hardcore people like black people who aren't like the stereotype for black people is like, oh, you play NBA and 2K and fucking
Madden and shit.
yeah, like it's like when you hear about a black person who plays JRPGs, like that doesn't even make sense. That sounds like a bit. That sounds like you found a Mew or some shit.
That key word is the stereotype.
But
Yeah.
but it's also partially true. It is.
Yeah, the
also-
stereotype is based in truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's this contingency of black RPG players out there that aren't getting represented because we don't play a lot of these games. We don't come out for certain types of movies either. Like we don't come out for.
I don't know if we do or don't. I don't even know if the research has been put into it to know if we do or don't. That's my problem with it. It's like a lot of our take is based off of a limited access to information. We just going off of the people around us. And I'm telling you, YouTube has opened me up to the Mr. T's and the Terrells and the Red Knights and the John Shaws and so I can name people who play all these games. I would have been the first. Oh, we don't play that. We only play Madden, NBA 2K. But I get on YouTube and do a channel, and I run into people who playing all these games, and there's a whole bunch of them. So it's like, I don't know. So
I think YouTube shows. Like, honestly, most podcasts I'm on, I'm in the minority as a white male or as a white guy. I see at least equal as far as the Nintendo fans. It seems to be pretty equal on YouTube for the people I follow. So yeah, you guys are right. Like,
but the thing,
who is it? Francis is huge into RPGs. Shokio likes RPGs, but that's like you said. Most people would probably say NBA 2K and Madden. Like,
Yeah.
We're the loud minority. Like I'm telling you, every company I've worked for do market research. That's the main thing they do. Is they do market research. So they put the surveys out there. They do these like I said, they do these surveys. They do this research to see who's buying and who's playing and who cares about what. That's the first step in marketing. Is market research. So they know who's doing this stuff. Level said, we don't have the numbers on that, but they do. They got the numbers on that because they're spending these marketing budgets and they're targeting that market. And we're not a big part of that at this point. And we can turn that around. Like that's something we could do.
Well, just like female gamers were a small portion, and now they're up to like half or close to. That's probably including mobile games and stuff, but the females used to be non-gamers. No one ever thought, all she wants to play is, Princess Peach, Super Princess Peach or whatever, And now we're seeing that there's a lot more female gamers that play a lot of types of games. So
you know what I'm saying? Like I believe that. I think it's a stereotype on who play what, and I don't think it's real invested research in who really actually play our games. We know, I think it's an old way of approaching games, the good old boys approach, and I think even a culture that ain't even white. That's what makes me say a culture that isn't white. Japan isn't white. Those are Japanese people, and they make their games in Japan with white protagonists.
Well, no, they don't. Let me rephrase that.
A lot of them do.
It's more Japanese protagonists, if anything.
They look white though.
Well, of course they look white because I mean a black Japanese person.
No. What I'm saying, they don't look okay.
They don't look Japanese.
I
don't know.
Japanese. They look closer.
Well, it's also because their games are more stylized, so it's kind of to me. Most of the games I play from Japan, usually, well, especially the RPGs, are mainly Japanese characters. Like the game will explicitly tell you you're playing with Japanese characters. Like you have those games that kind of crossbred. Like for example, Fire Emblem's more white than I would think Japanese. But
that's my question. Why is it?
Because Crom,
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, no,
Final Fantasy, color, their eye color,
Double Dragon. Remember those back? We can talk about now. Go back in the day. Them was Japanese people making these games. Double Dragon. This is
Contra.
These was white people.
In Ninja Gaiden, the remake on the Xbox, like he didn't even look like an Asian Ryu. Did.
So it got to be more than just
Well, I think that's just their perception of America.
I think that's they right. The whole thing is what Mr. T said before. They believe that this demographic is who's going to buy the games, and that's what we're going to cater our characters to, even though we have kids that want to see, characters that look like them, but most of our biggest AAA games or popular games have a white protagonist.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I mean, there are numbers of us who should be represented. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong in saying that. What I'm saying is they're going after their bigger market.
Right.
That's what they're going. They're going after the bigger dollar.
Do they? I mean,
because even though YouTube shows that there are more of us than people think, YouTube does not show. I wouldn't even say like a fourth. Doesn't even show like a fourth or a fifth of like gamers as a whole. Like I feel like
5%.
Yeah, like we're seeing like a very small portion of like gamers, and the fact that gamers in general aren't even the majority of the market. The majority of the market are casuals who just buy games based on what other people say, word of mouth kind of crap.
Right.
So I think they're going for what the casual market and the standard of the casual market, which is usually like teenage or grown white adult men. And to me, and just the last thing I'm going to say, to me, having a black character really doesn't even change too much about the game for me personally, because if we're talking about being progressive here, I mean you can have literally almost every character we've seen, you can have a black version of that character, and the only thing that would be different between those two characters is skin color. So like the representation doesn't really mean too much. It's just more of it's become way too ingrained in society to see a white person on the cover of a box than a black person or an Asian person or a Mexican person.
I'm just going off of this. Well, what Terminator was saying with the title of the generic protagonist.
Yeah, I mean, even if
we hope that I think what you're trying to say is that we hope that along with that skin color comes some culture. Right. We don't just want a skin color change. We want
and I mean, we might be having the same conversation if every video game character was like an Asian martial artist or a black kid or something. I mean, if every character was the same, I think we'd still have the conversation if there was no variety, which is what I'm seeing.
That's my problem. It's like
I think the overarching issue is variety.
Yeah.
There's no variety even in the backdrop or the way that the character is presented. If it's black, white, purple, green. Like look at a game like Gears of War. Cole. Remember that character?
Coltrane.
Coltrane. Ooh, baby. I'm like, come on, do we really gotta do we always gotta be the big
loud
and kind of broken?
Final Fantasy 7, man.
Huh?
Final Fantasy 7, man.
Yeah.
So it's like it seems like the gaming world doesn't want to expand on the cultures, the true, because there's many different types of blacks. Like to me, Mr. T is a very well-spoken black guy. He don't sound like I would say myself. I probably got a little bit more
Oh, I
Slang
can though. I
I
can.
know you can, but I'm just saying.
What about
You
Francis?
spoken, Francis. I be some of my term Francis. My wife thought Francis was white. Like who is that?
I've heard that
You got
before.
people like one of my favorites, Triforce Johnson. He got the Jamaican kind of. I don't know if he is Jamaican, but he got an accent to it, but
Yeah,
very
definitely
articulate.
Caribbean.
Hmm.
But then you have myself, you have a Terrell, then you have a Red Knight, then you got a John Shaw. You got all these different peoples, but then the game only want to show you like Grand Theft Auto, the hood dude, the West Coast hood dude at that. Like, is that all of us? That's all we got, huh? That's who we are, really? Okay. So that to me is jarring to me, and I know every white person in these games is not the super brave, running to danger with no concept of life. No, I know you're not like that either. So it's like, let's get more realistic with our approach, even if you're going to continue to make them white or whatever.
Yeah, like
Approach them
I'm
realistic.
insulted. I'm insulted by some of these cocky white characters that they
Well-
come up with.
Well, here's
honestly.
a question: do you think they should fix how they're handling the characters now before they even try to tackle all the races, or do you think they should be trying to do both at the same time?
I don't think they need to tackle race. I just think they need to be more.
Well, no, I just mean because I mean the original the way this conversation started is because we felt like, well, some of us felt like the characters are getting kind of generic nowadays. Well,
Right.
adding culture to that would help that too, but like you kind of have to get the variety started before you can even worry about trying to get good cultural influence.
Yeah, I just say get the. I agree with you on that. It's like just be, but to me, you is multiple ways you can approach a white character, a black character. Like Terminator was saying, do he always got to be cocky? Can he be humble? Can he be cautious? Like, I don't know if I want to run in there quite yet. Like it's like everyone is like, I'm just gonna run in here, guns are blazing. The black guy, all he just loud and broken language. Like, do we always gotta have these same generic approaches to characters? It's like that's my thing, So
Yeah, and it's like some of the Call of Duties and Battlefields, like they have different races in the multiplayer and stuff, but the main character, it's the same. Even getting beyond just the race and stuff, it's the same dialogue, it's the same four rough and tumble guys, and it's, I mean, even in that, a separate little category with the shooters, you got Killzone 3 or 2 and 3 felt just like Gears of War, like a group of four guys cussing and badass dudes. I mean, wasn't even about the skin color there. It was just like, am I playing the same game here? I played Killzone 2 and I put it away because it's same dialogue, same, swearing to be cool, and it's just like, is this really all the creative like minds they have making these games? They can't hire people that can actually create some characters that are interesting and different from one another, and seeing like Horizon, like seeing a female, and she wasn't just like, she didn't look like just a straight up white female. She looked like maybe multicultural or something. That was refreshing. That's one of the things I was like, man, that's cool seeing a character like that. Even though we got Lara Croft is a female, but she's a British white woman, and it's just like, for me personally, I just would like to see a little more variety. Now that games are getting that much detail and the character models and stuff, before there were just some pixels on the screen. It wasn't, really as noticeable, I don't think, now is when you're getting all this detail and all this level of graphic fidelity, and in these big budgets, I just would like to see a little more variety overall and just some more time. I don't care that much about story in a lot of games. It's more about the gameplay, but I've been feeling it, and I'm just finally expressing it. It's just like, I think enough's enough, and I know it's not going to change, but I just thought it'd be an interesting topic. So I don't know if you guys want to have any final thoughts on that before we're going to get to a couple questions.
no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
And I think, Splatoon, like we talked about, you can be the male or the female. You can change the skin color, and it's like, didn't get any recognition for that. I know Nintendo's taken some heat for some of their characters over the years, the lack of anything other than white. Even though a lot of their characters are animals and stuff, they got that stigmatism brought
They're
up.
white animals.
Yeah, Yoshi's obviously white, and he's a dinosaur. But I just think Splatoon should get some recognition for letting people
Well, hell,
make the character they want to make. And
I was gonna say, even Codename Sting grabbed characters from not only like American culture. We got a few black characters in there.
Yeah,
what was it John Henry?
John Henry, man.
And well, she's a later character in the game, but Calyphia, I know she's Egyptian, but I can't remember where she's specifically from. But we got it wasn't. I mean, we got characters in that game that were different. It was like 3, but that's something.
and like Assassin's Creed, they take place in the past, so there's not even America yet. So they've had Native American, they've had Italian. Italian's technically white stuff, but at least there's some cultural separation there. Even though those games are just repetitive, the gameplay is repetitive. They at least have. Actually, the only best part about 2, I thought, was the main character was just kind of different and interesting. Even though he was cocky in the beginning in a different kind of way, but there are some games that they don't do the typical thing. But I think just the majority of them are just, I don't know, they ran out of ideas or time. They focused too much on other things. I'm not sure. Would it make a difference to me? I mean. Nah, I'll probably still buy a great game. I don't care about if it's another generic protagonist. If the game's great and review's great and stuff, I'll probably still pick it up. But it is just nice to have a little variety. Like I said, music. I don't listen to hard rock music every day, all day. I like to listen to a tiny little bit of country, a lot of pop in there, some older music, and I even listen to some hip hop and stuff. So I just like a variety of things, and I just think that. That's kind of the main point I was making. I know there's the big issue of minorities not being represented in movies and stuff, but just from the gaming standpoint, I think I'd like to see some change. So anyway, that's it for that. And we try to keep these fun, but I thought it'd be nice to get a little serious there and address some real issues. So I'll just pick a few questions. We're at the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna grab a few questions, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So appreciate everyone who's hung with us through maybe a little bit of a controversial subject matter, but I thought we all handled it like adults, and it was a good discussion. So Active Gamer Life asked this question relating to his last video, which got a lot of thumbs up. I think he hit on something that not too many people could even argue, and that's that this generation is the worst in gaming, and he made a lot of points as to why he felt that way, whether you agreed with it or not. He had some pretty solid points, so he just wants to know, each one of us, what is the worst thing about this gen in our opinion so far, and you can't pick the same answer as the person who went ahead of you. I know that's kind of a big question, and it's the only negative question I'll pick. So the worst thing about this gen so far. So the person who goes first will have it easiest. So we'll go with Robert.
Awesome, good. I would say DLC. Honestly, I'm gonna say DLC, especially those season passes that they could lock stuff like how what was it? The Marvel was it Marvel versus Capcom?
Yeah, that piece of shit.
Yeah, stuff like that. You just can't do that. It's just ridiculous.
So you're saying bad DLC practices?
Bad DLC. Obviously, there's good DLC practices. Very few, but mostly a lot of those bad DLC practices. That's what I would say.
All right. Terrell, do you have an answer?
Third-party game variety. I feel like we've gotten pretty samey. What was it? Watch Dogs came out, and that just felt like a variation of like another game. Like we haven't really, like when we get new games or new IPs, it doesn't really feel new, and then the quality of them hasn't even been up to snuff. So I guess my answer would just be third-party quality. Yeah, let's just go with that. Third-party game quality.
And he also said this generation hasn't all been bad. Obviously, the Wii U and 3DS are great.
Oh, we're gonna be black ninjas. We're gonna turn to black ninjas again.
But yeah, Mezza you gotta. What do you think?
That I mean, I don't know if Terrell already said that. I guess he kind of did, but I always said that the last great gen was the sixth gen, and I think it was because of the companies that were around and the types of all the different types of games they were making. Even the big guys who used to have the kind of these smaller, they branch off into these smaller things and do a lot of cool variety, like EA and EA Big and stuff, that kind of stuff. So I guess that's what he already said, variety.
Kind of, yeah.
But I just can't think of a better one than that. I mean, I think that's the main issue.
Is that the GameCube?
Yeah, GameCube, PS2.
Yeah, I mean, we thought the GameCube didn't get third-party support, but there's a lot of third-party games on the GameCube.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, for me it'd be either the fourth or the fifth or the sixth gen.
So, what do you have? What's the worst thing about this gen so far? Do you have an answer for that?
Oh, it's the delays, man. I mean, like, I don't care. I mean, I put this on Twitter today. It's like, why are we giving a pass to Sony and Microsoft with these? It ain't really no games on either one of these systems. We be honest. Yeah, you can name games, but they ain't nothing that we would typically name back in the day. These games wouldn't even be mentioned. But because it's so sparse and so dry, we talking about games that normally wouldn't even be in our radar as an anticipated game. But at the same time, I remember when the Wii U came out and it went through a 7-month drought, we couldn't. That was a reason not to buy the system ever. So I don't understand that. But to me, it's the droughts and the lackluster games that are coming out. Like Destiny and
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs. What's that game that came on Sony?
Order 1886.
Yeah, Order 1886. It's like these games don't even last long. They faint experience. They as soon as you get them, it's over. And it's just ain't enough variety either.
If you look at, like, honestly, the Wii U the last couple of years had a game in February, a huge game in May, and then a good holiday. Xbox One, PS4 have had Battlefield Hardline, which fell flat on its face. Evolve fell flat on its face. Right. So you had Batman Arkham Knight, that was like, big title like Mario Kart was for the Wii last year. And Bloodborne was decent for the PS4. Xbox One didn't really have another exclusive. And then, the holiday looks decent for the Xbox, so it's very similar in that there's only a couple games in the first half.
Can I say this about Bloodborne? I think Bloodborne was a really, and I'm speaking just from opinion. I haven't played it, but I think it was just an overhyped game. I think people was giving that game way more praise than they would have typically gave it because they hadn't had anything good pretty much for a year and some months.
It was the first PS4 game that came out with good reviews, basically.
Right. I'm just saying, I don't watching the game. I didn't see what was so amazing about it, but that might be me just not playing the game. I'm only speaking from visually watching other folks play it. But it's just been a subpar generation. I agree 100% with Red on that. So
yeah, and I mean the obvious answer is remasters and re-releasing games from the previous gen. I think we had a little bit of that with some HD collections, but now they can't make HD collections because they were telling everybody last gen that those games were HD. Technically, some were, some weren't. But instead of getting a collection, mostly we're getting just the same game released again. It started with Tomb Raider, which was close enough. That was kind of a borderline. Actually, no, it was almost like 8 months later. But then we got, like Saints Row remastered or remake. We got GTA. We got Dark Souls.
We got Rayman. We got Injustice.
We got Last of Us. Master Chief Collection, Uncharted. I mean, just seeing all these games and
God of
they're
War 3, don't forget about that.
yeah, God of War 3. That's basically a port. At least the Gears one has a completely new like lighting engine and looks significantly improved.
Right, and I know
Still,
people say we hypocritical because
but it's still the same game. You
we
know, it's
didn't name
just
Zelda Wind Waker, but like Red said, you talking about 2 generations ago.
yeah. We're talking about games you played. Like I can still play The Last of Us on my PS3, GTA 5 on my Xbox 360. If I had Dark Souls 2 on the PS3, it's like it's just seeing the exact same game, and some of them are full price, and it's just like that to me is the worst thing because it kind of ties into what Terrell and Ms. T said, and what you're saying, Leveled, is delays, lack of quality, third party, lack of variety. It's just okay. We're just gonna bring the same games back, and it's like to me that's the biggest offense of this generation. So, all right, let's get on. Let's try to find a couple. I'm gonna pick like 3 questions and try to find one that have a little more positivity in them. So, let's see. I gotta read them now. There's a lot, so sorry guys. I should have said in the beginning I wasn't going to get to a lot of the questions just because I knew we were going to be talking a lot. Well, here's an interesting one. Apparently there's a rumor that Square Enix is considering bringing Final Fantasy 15, or is it 14? 14, A Realm Reborn, to the NX now. Was it 14? I thought it was 15, but
No, it was 14. The rumor
Okay.
was about 14.
So some people are saying, well, if Square is considering this one on top of Dragon Quest, like, what do they know? What is it about the NX that makes them want to bring these games over? So, you guys, I'm going to start off and say that I think it's something. The NX is something that they think the Japanese audience gamers are going to gravitate towards when they're deciding to bring these RPGs. So they must know something. If this is true and they're considering that in Dragon Quest, they must think that the Japanese gamers are going to buy the NX if they're considering bringing their games to it. Anybody else have a different take on that?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of burnt out with the NX talk, to be honest with you.
I know.
So,
I just
yeah,
think it's interesting if there's going to be a bunch some RPGs and Square Enix is going to support it. They must think that Japan's going to buy the system.
It's apparent that it's, at least we can say it's got to be either matching what's out now with the current 2 consoles. That's all I can gather from it. It must be very traditional.
Or just a real, like, as far as architecture or something, if it's going to be easy to port. I think that would
that's
be.
what I'm saying. Like, I'm thinking the controller. If they coming out already, and I know that we know Nintendo is very secretive and not as forthcoming with information as like what Chris, what is it? Which company is this?
Square Enix.
Square Enix. Like, they don't typically allow folks to just throw out what's coming out, especially on their new console. So it must, to me, I'm gathering that the system must be a very approachable, plain system, like with maybe just matching PlayStation 4, Xbox One, typical controller. That's what I'm thinking, because that's what it sounds like to me. That it's going to be a very regular system. So.
All right, I got a good question for T. So I don't know if he's got his mic muted, but
I'm here, folks.
this is from TriLink, and the last question was from Tony Coran. Would you guys rather see Star Fox Zero be delayed if it meant extra polish to the game and the possibility of online multiplayer, versus coming out in November, looking basically what it looks like right now? I guess would be the other option.
But of course.
Yeah, that sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a better game. I'll wait a little longer. Ain't doing nothing.
What do you think
I was saying, I think Mario Maker will keep you busy anyway.
You know, Mario Maker, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm good.
I think, I mean, from what they showed at E3, it doesn't look like they're, the Wii U is going to be a priority. So, would it be beneficial to even delay it for the Wii U? At that point?
Don't put it past them.
Yeah, because then it was already originally a Wii game. Like, I can't imagine them.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them trying to upscale it even further to like.
If they delayed it though,
Pikmin
what?
3.
Like if they put it on an NX, it has to have like almost a complete overhaul, I would think.
So
Yeah, it wouldn't even be
if
the
they
same
delayed
game.
it? How long would be too long? If the NX, let's say the NX come out in 2016, how long can you delay Star Fox to really instill?
It'd have to be a launch title. Yeah, like, and it wouldn't hurt them, to do
Yeah,
that.
I agree with Mr. T on that. I mean, if you're not going to release it this year, if you can polish it up and make it better, yeah, I say push it off and make it better. Why wait?
The core
Why wait?
mechanics are already there. Like the game is there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of polishing up, textures and adding some more enemies. If obviously we don't know what the final thing is, but if I think his premise was if this is the game that we've seen, if that's what we're gonna get, would I rather it be delayed? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, why push it out to not be successful when you can just hold it and make it better and help make your next system successful?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they delay it for Wii U and bring it out in like May, I just don't think that game has enough to it to make it the Mario Kart Splatoon type of May release either. So
No, it would have to be a holiday. It has to be a holiday game, I think. It wouldn't help the Wii U in May, that's for sure. It wouldn't help its own sales in May. I think even with the online multiplayer.
All right, let's get to this. Can be the final question, so we can wrap this up. Anderson Archilla, how do you guys feel about Rash from Battletoads appearing in Killer Instinct? Do you think they'll charge some extra money for Season 3 or include it with the $60 package?
I'm glad the IP is being used.
I think I was gonna say I think that's great. Anytime they use rare stuff, I'm all on board.
He looks pretty cool.
I think
I played
he looks
with-
great. He looks damn good. So
I actually played with him. He cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
I'll be able to play on my PC against you guys on your Xbox One, so that's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Xbox One and done, man. They done after
I
that.
understand how Killer Instinct is, how they went about the whole thing of Killer Instinct. It's like,
Yeah.
this is just stupid to me. I mean, you see characters, but you can't. You gotta go buy them. I don't even want to play it.
Why didn't they just make just a full game? I don't understand.
They-
Like,
It's stupid, man. It's
Killed
I thought
all
they released a
my
retail version.
anticipation was killed when they told me how they're gonna roll it out. Like, it
dude.
looked like a decent game, but it just
That's exactly what they doing, man.
they just killed me. They killed me with the way they rolled it out. Like,
so I wonder what my options are going to be starting from scratch. Am I going to be able to have seasons 1 and 2, all those characters there?
2 and have to but well, hopefully they have 3 out by the time you get a chance to play it.
It's just a weird.
I know that the storyline and all that just now. I think when I first started playing, they didn't even have a storyline to it. It was,
I mean, you do that when you don't have enough confidence in the game. That's what I feel like.
That
You do
seems
kind of
like a
stuff.
way worse offense than what Nintendo did with Splatoon and purposely giving us content weekly to keep the game feeling fresh versus like you buy the character, is it free to play with one character, then you buy each character, or you can buy them all together.
Yeah.
And then the game you have to be, even if you buy the full version on disc, you got to have an internet connection to download all the characters because they're not on the disc, like
yeah.
Leveled Head experience.
I mean, I think they just underestimated the appeal of
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, and it became bigger than what they was planning on it being. And now they trying to right the ship because they came out that they planned for Killer Instinct was just bad.
Yeah. They didn't have a lot of confidence in it, and that screwed it.
So, one final question, just, yes or no, and maybe a number. Are you guys excited for Metal Gear Solid 5? Comes out, I think, next
Oh
month.
boy. Oh boy.
I actually am interested in it. and if the PC version launches without bugs, I might actually pick it up. So my anticipation for the game is about a 7, I guess, out of 10, 6.5, 7. Anybody else?
Yeah, I played Metal Gear on the NES and and Snake Eater, and those are the only Metal Gear games I played. I played other ones. They don't appeal to me at all.
Yeah, that's fair. I played Metal Gear Solid, and then I played the remaster Twin Snakes, and then I played Metal Gear Solid 4. Actually enjoyed it, even though there's 10 hours of story cutscenes. But anybody else looking
I
for
couldn't play Solid.
I was gonna say I'm more in line with T. I've never actually played any. Well, there's a lot. I own Metal Gear Solid 4, and I got bored of it. That's the only Metal Gear game I've ever touched. I have like absolutely no interest. I don't look down on the franchise at all. I just personally don't care. So no.
It wants to be too Hollywood movie for me. That's if
especially
I
now.
Yeah.
I just think I'm liking what I'm seeing from like a gameplay standpoint, but I'm still a little bit skeptical. The last one just had so much cutscenes, and it was so nonsensical. It didn't make any sense half the time. So
yeah, it had some weird storylines in those games.
I've never it never appealed to me. Visually, it looks impressive right now, but I've never been into Metal Gear Solid. I don't know why I haven't. I just don't care about it.
Yeah, I never really got into it either, but I played, believe it or not, I got ordered on GameFly was Ground Zeroes, and I didn't really care for it. It was like
a demo.
Yeah, that demo. That like, what was it? $40, $30 demo.
It was gonna be 40, then they dropped it, I think, before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and I didn't really care for it, and I'm probably not gonna buy it regardless, honestly.
And then they come out with the budget for that game like it's some astronomical number like GTA 5.
Wasn't it like 70 million or something?
80 million.
$80 million.
That's a lot, but we GTA 5 was 300 million.
Yeah.
So it's like, but still, that's a lot of money. I don't
You wonder why they're trying to sell you a demo.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
They got to pay for that thing.
If that game with that open world, all that with Kiefer Sutherland and all the motion cap costs 80 million. What does a Yoshi's Woolly World cost? You think like 5?
I was gonna say like 3 to 5 million probably.
And it's like, I mean, and it's a completely different experience, but it's still a fun game, solid game experience. So I just think that's the other part of the problem with this generation is the game budgets. To get the games looking like people want to justify their purchase of a 8 gigs of RAM, the budgets got so high that companies they can't take risks like we're talking about, and they give us the safe tend to stick to the safe things that they know gamers will fall for. So.
The 7th gen killed a lot of those guys. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so I mean, a little bit less of laughing and joking around this podcast.
Hey man, we got the ass section in there. I think
we did talk about the ass, but I thought it was a good subject, and I appreciate that discussion. So hopefully everybody else did. But yeah, so we're gonna do the usual final thoughts here and wrap this up. And Robert, I keep forgetting to ask you where you're from because you say awesome different than anybody I've ever heard.
New Jersey. I just talk weird.
Okay, New Jersey. It makes sense. So anything you want to say before we go? First time on the Juice is Loose.
Thanks for having me, first of all, because I've been listening since the first one. So it's pretty awesome to actually be on it. And thank you, and I'm glad to talk to everyone in this podcast. You all are awesome.
Cool. And you watched the first podcast?
Yep.
It's crazy.
I've seen the very first one.
Well,
you watch Ms. T show, fools?
Do you watch the Mr. T show?
Yeah, I watch. Yeah, I watch.
All right. And you have a YouTube channel. You have uploaded some videos.
Yeah, obviously it's Wii 360 with me, and I just uploaded this one video that I found pretty funny. It's called COD Community Reacts to Super Smash Brothers, and it's basically I talk to random Call of Duty players about Super Smash Brothers, and you know how they could be, so it's pretty funny.
Okay, I'll check that out. Next up, the regular on the Juices Loose, the man with the shades. You got any final thoughts, Terrell?
Oh. I was like, those are my glasses. Okay. I think if anything, from this podcast, we have learned that Terminator Juice is a freak who likes listening. He likes listening to Laura Croft in pain. It's orgasmic, apparently.
I think that was the T that brought that up.
And it's not the point. You didn't deny it, sir. But yeah, it's been cool. I have no problem with these more serious type discussions. It kind of evens things out every once in a while, especially since the last few podcasts have been really randomly sexual about balls and
Street clowning.
Yeah, so we need to sober up apparently, because apparently we were high as a motherfucker on the last ones. But
I just say real quick.
Yeah.
While we're talking about that, Gamer Talk 8 commented, said Tomb Raider turned into Womb Raider there for a minute.
Greatest comment ever.
10 out of 10.
Drops mic.
But yeah, it's been fun, and hope to do it again next week.
All right. Let's hope we got to come up with a different part of the anatomy to talk about. I think we're running out of them.
Legs, man. We need to get on them girls with the long legs. Come on now.
All right, Ms. T.
All right, fools. Thanks for having me on, as usual. Always a blast to be on the Juices Loose. And I look forward to the next one. And make sure you play Nintendo, fools.
All right. Leveled head, man. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, man, just want to tell everybody, man, to keep it gaming, man. Don't take everything so serious. Enjoy your system, whatever you got. Terminator Juice, always a pleasure to be on the Juices Loose with fellow gamers. I enjoy being on here with Ms. T. That's one of my favorites. And Terrell, I'm getting to know you well. And Robert, welcome. You know what I'm saying, young guy, but you're around some older guys that can lead you right, man. So anyway, even though we did get off on a little, I forgot. You know, I felt like I would put down my Christian title.
We are men after all.
But anyway, yeah, man, I enjoy being on here with you guys, man. My whole thing is just to enjoy gaming and get away from all the drama, man. And so that's what I tell you. And thanks for letting me on, and look forward to coming back again.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, me and Leveled have some disagreements on Twitter every once in a while. We've had a difference of opinion multiple times, and it's just I'm glad that we can still be friends and be on podcasts and be level-headed, you know. So I appreciate
so crazy,
that.
right? It's crazy.
I appreciate that, you know, because like you said,
that's an anomaly in this.
You can actually still talk, and
that's an oxymoron.
But then again, you didn't accuse me of lying to my fans and myself. I mean, you didn't take it.
Yeah,
you can disagree with me. Like, I mean, that's just wrong. So anyway, don't wanna bring that up. But yeah, it's been fun, good discussion, and sorry I didn't get to all the questions. But I don't want a 3-hour podcast like the Live and Leveled.
I guess keep throwing us under the bus, man.
I know it was all good. It was a good 3 hours.
It was. I didn't have much to relate to with your, I don't know, those two.
Oh, the raps. I couldn't.
I don't know those guys. So the last rivalry, I guess, that I was paying attention to was like Tupac and Biggie Smalls. So.
Oh, okay. We need to pray.
Man, you old, man.
I'm old.
That's over a decade and a half old. We need.
That's yeah. So.
That's damn near 20 years ago.
He did.
So yeah, that's gonna be it for the Juices Loose. I look forward to hopefully get some more topics, something to discuss next week. Red Knight's having a Smash Brothers tournament tomorrow. Forget the time. It's like 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be Pokemon balls all over the place. So it's going to be interesting. And I'm going to try maybe doing one. And then next week or the week after, I'm going to announce the details to my Challenge Juice Super Mario Maker show I'm going to do, and a competition kind of. So look forward to more details on that in the future. So with that, I'm going to thank everybody for watching, thank my guests for joining me, and we'll see you on the next video.